and quality, Action Industries beats the industry standard. Call today or visit actionindinc.com. That's actionindinc.com.
If you're a small business owner, you've probably noticed how the big banks like to force you into one-size-fits-all financial service products. At Neighbors Federal Credit Union, we've created a suite of flexible commercial checking accounts designed to fit the specific needs of your local business. And with 9 full-service locations throughout Greater Baton Rouge, we're always just around the corner. We're a local small business looking out for other local small businesses. Learn more about Neighbors commercial checking accounts by visiting neighborsfcu.org. Neighbors Federal Credit Union. We're here for you. Insured by NCUA.
Please consider making a donation locally through St. Vincent de Paul that truly helps people in need. If you have a boat, car, motorcycle, RV, clothing, housewares, or furniture you no longer use, please consider donating it to St. Vincent de Paul. This donation could get you a tax deduction. Visit svdpbr.org.
Robinson Brothers Ford is where truck and SUV buyers go for big selection and even bigger savings. F-150s, F-250s, Escapes, Explorers, Broncos. We're stocked up and ready to sell your favorite new Fords at a price you love. Right now, save thousands plus pocket big Robinson Brothers cash on 2024 Escapes and 2023 F-150 XLTs. And as always, no unexpected fees. Hurry to Robinson Brothers Ford.
Excludes TT&L registration, insurance, and dealer doc fees. Ford credit bonus cash with approved credit through Ford Motor Credit.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Friday, August 30th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect rainy skies with a high of 94 in hour one of today's show. We'll break down the matchup between LSU and USC on Sunday night, and we'll give our thoughts on some of the biggest college games that occurred last night. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the MGM Sportsbook inside the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
They said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yo! What's good, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Tiger Nation, wherever you are listening from, it's your boys, T-Bob Hebert, Jake Hester, my guy Bo Wegman getting everything set up here on site. It is 5 a.m. Nevada time as we are live from the MGM Sportsbook at Mandalay Bay. Some pretty sweet digs that we're occupying here, and we are freaking pumped for some college football. Already last night, we were given our first taste. We'll get into it. I would say the first frustrating gambling beat of the college football season. Not a bad thing. Lets you know that you're alive, right? You're sweating, right? It's like Pacino says, and is it 2 for the money? It's like, yeah, the winning's nice, but the losing lets you know you're alive, that you got a pulse. So look, we hey, if you don't have a pulse today with college football week 1 on the docket for tomorrow, and then LSU, USC, 2 teams that are so similar and both have to have it Sunday night, if you don't have a pulse, you should go to a doctor because you're about to die, okay? I don't think your heart is working. I don't think your blood is pumping. So I think today's show is probably going to be an ever-descending traipse down into insanity as this game gets closer and closer and we get more fired up. And look, and keep it locked on 104.5 ESPN throughout the weekend. All the shows will be here today. We got pregame, postgame of both the Eagle and Whiskey and Wine Variety all here from Mandalay Bay all weekend long. You want to come holler, say what's up. Do that as well if you're in town, because I got to say, the Tigers have descended upon Sin City, and it's a match made in heaven. Jake, what's up, brother? How we doing today?
It's 5 a.m., as you mentioned. A little bit of Jake Taylor feeling when he answers the phone. He's like, look, I'm hungover. My knees are killing me. And if you're going to pull this, at least you could have said you're from the Yankees. But you did get me a little fired up. I sat up in my seat a little bit because you're right. Although it is early, how can we not be excited about the opportunity that is ahead? We got some last night. You're going to have college football today, tomorrow, Sunday, yes, even Monday. So nice job, T.
Yeah, we can. I want to talk about. I want to talk about LSU-USC and kind of rehash a lot of things that we've discussed up to this point, or maybe rediscuss them, return them over, look at some new angles as well, break down maybe kind of how we're feeling from a pure analytical standpoint, and what past experience and our hearts may tell us about, how do you judge pure analysis versus your gut feeling or your experiences, the knowledge that you've gained from past experience. But let's just talk about last night real quick, though, because Thursday Night Football underway last night, more college football. Georgia Tech FSU was so much fun to kick off the season. I said at the time, Jake, it was an incredible omen for this legendary 2024 college football season where everything is remade from the top to the bottom and more teams are relevant for a national championship in more ways than one. Not just because you have a 12-team playoff, but because of the transfer portal, right? All of a sudden, you have more good teams, like 60%. It's a little over 60% of the starting quarterbacks you're going to see in college football this weekend are transfers because guys, they're now able to go and find a better option. It works out for both player and team. So it is without a doubt the most wide-open, exciting football season that we've ever seen. Tech Florida State was awesome. Last night, Colorado, North Dakota was awesome. Minnesota UNC was a lot of fun. Yeah. Shout out to the Warhawks. They had a bit of a battle up there with General Booty, some sweet helmets up in Monroe as well. I mean, just a really solid night of college football last night. Jake, you ended up actually back in Prime and Company, and they let you down.
Yeah, so we were sitting in the airport, like a little story time, and T-Bob and I were like, hey, let's get, a nice little parlay in before we get on the plane. And you were confident in Colorado, but I misunderstood the assignment. I thought you took with the spread, you took a money line and included that in our parlay. So I hit the wrong thing. You won. I lost by a game. But you know what? It's okay because we got a slate today, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday. But yeah, I never, ever would go against North Dakota State, but I did, and I got burned.
Yeah, Colorado defense looks god-awful. And Shedeur Sanders looks good, but they're not a good team.
Yeah, Colorado is the same that they were. Shedeur Sanders is a really good player. Travis Hunter is a really good player. They're going to play a long time on Sundays. The rest of the team is Mountain West.
Yeah, Travis Hunter
at best.
That last touchdown catch he had on a bad throw by Shedeur was pretty fantastic. For me, I mean, by the way, join the Snaps Discord, guys. I tweeted out yesterday. It was a lot of fun. I felt good, though, because that parlay that we put together, Jake, that you added a lot of good solid legs to, like Bowling Green and whatnot. It hit for the Snaps boys. What didn't hit, we had our first college kicker moment last night. How disappointing for PJ Fleck and company. You're up 14-7 at half. You slowly but surely watch that lead get whittled away to 16-14 throughout the second half of that game. But your transfer quarterback comes through. He drives you down the field. You got a game-winning field goal lined up, and your captain, the same man that had missed a 27-yarder earlier that day, but your captain is a chance of redemption. What does he do? He misses again. UNC wins. Mac Brown on top. And, the P.J. Fleck era at Minnesota continues to kind of trend in the wrong direction. The people are like, why is it so hard to kick on NCAA 25? Because college kickers suck.
Yes.
And it's very hard to kick. Yes. And look at that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, let's do one more conversation on these games before we move on. It's probably just going to be all LSU-USC from here on out.
Okay, I'm glad you did that. A couple of quick thoughts. Kyle Monungai, 19 carries, 165 yards.
Against who?
It doesn't matter.
Against who?
Howard.
Get out of here.
But still, I mean, shout out Kyle Monungai. UCF played New Hampshire, so that, like, I get that part of it. But just R.J. Harvey, 1,000-yard back. He had 11 for 142 last night. Penny Boone, 1,000-yard back, had 7 for 81 last night. K.J. Jefferson had 40 on the ground. He had a score as well. If K.J. Jefferson can find a way just to be okay in the passing game, because he was 7 of 14 for 164 and 2 tuds last night, but he's got to be way better than that. UCF has some real juice to him. Like, if you're looking for like a sleeper pick in the Big 12, you can get some real value at UCF. I looked right before the season. It was plus 950. I bet it's still plus 700 at least right now.
So the big national conversation from last night's games, Jake, and I want you to weigh in on this, is all about Travis Hunter. Because he is so incredible. He may be even a better receiver than he is DB.
That's what scouts say.
But there's less DBs to go around.
Yeah.
Is there any way that Travis Hunter could overcome this Colorado team and win the Heisman? I mean, Lamar Jackson won at winning, 9 games? Maybe maybe even 8 games. Maybe not. I think 9-3. But I'll look it up.
So he has what you have to have with preseason hype. You know, he has all of that, and he should, by the way. I mean, he's an incredible football player. So he's got, like, the cool factor. Like, those things are working for him. There has to be some team success. You can't be 6-5 at Heisman time and expect to win it, though. So I don't know. Is he good enough to win it? Absolutely. But, look, they got games at Nebraska, at UCF, at Arizona,
I do not think
Kansas
that's a good
State.
team.
I mean, they're scared.
I do not think that's a good team that I saw last night.
They're going to be 6-6.
I mean, how in the world,
at their best?
How in the world do you let North Dakota even throw that final ball and get to the 5? That's just a sign of a team that's just bad. It looks like Louisville was 9-3. Losing their last 2 games of the regular season at Houston and against Kentucky. But still, Lamar finding a way. So, anyway, college football's back. It was awesome.
Shout out Green Wave.
Shout out Green Wave.
Even though they beat Taylor's team. Sorry, Taylor.
The John Sumrall era getting off to a great start. That was one of the legs. And the whole reasoning was, dude, look, Sumrall wants to go out there and make a statement that, Willie, you done goofed. You built this thing up real nice, but you done goofed leaving it. And in case you missed it, John Sumrall's record as a head coach, admittedly small sample size. What is it, 2 or 3 years?
Yeah.
He has one of the top 5 winning percentages in the entire country, right? And it's like, if you're a Tulane Green Wave fan, I'd be very excited. Like, maybe Willie Fritz. Willie Fritz is the perfect man for the job to bring you out of obscurity, to make you relevant, to get a lot of momentum built. Sumrall may be the perfect man for the job to sustain it and or even raise that ceiling a bit more. So Tulane looking at Southeastern, but still Tulane absolutely taking care of business last night. Any other games to mention from last night that you think are deserving of mention?
You already mentioned UL Monroe.
Yep.
Warhawks 30-14. General Booty leading the charge. Shout out to the Warhawks. Don't know how many games they're going to win.
They ended up winning 30-14. Okay, it was a bit of a battle.
Yeah, they've got great helmets, like T-Bob said, and shout out to the 301 grade up there.
All right, so that's that. That's fun. College football's back. Congratulations to all the UNC bettors. Tears to all the Minnesota bettors. But that's why this is all so much fun. All right, when we get back, guys, let's dive in to LSU, USC. I don't know that we're going to talk about anything else for the rest of the day. Maybe some Week 1 college football. We will see. But if you want to get involved, youtube.com/1045ESPN. You come hop in the chat, hit the like button, all that. And we will be back with more Off the Bench next.
Off the bench. Off the bench.
Go to All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.com, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. Look, man, All-Star is your one-stop vehicular shop. Maybe you want to buy a Toyota certified used vehicle where you choose your level of Toyota warranty coverage to give you that peace of mind. And you get it at a great price. Maybe you want to buy a brand new vehicle. Maybe you need to rent. Maybe you need to buy. Maybe you need a body shop. It's all there off of Airline and Goodwood. Go check out the hybrids, guys. Save a ton of money on gas. It's not like a full EV where you got to worry about finding a charging station, putting something in your garage, but you still save a ton of money in the end. And never forget, join me in the MVG. That's the minivan gang, y'all. Only the real ones know. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.
Go to the website today, and you can buy new, you can lease, you can rent, you can do it all. And the thing we tell you about every single day, everything's available, and all the things that we talk about, bigger, smaller, better on gas mileage, whatever it might be, they've got you covered. Go to the website, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com.
Back to school savings at Bayou Ford. $12,000 off F-150, $12,000 off the new 2024 Ford F-150, and $10,000 off Expedition. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Okay, sorry we were a little late coming back there, but I had to recognize a couple of the real ones. We got Russell and Dallin here at the MGM Sportsbook at Mandalay Bay. It is 5:18 local time, and my guy Russell said, bruh. He said, bruh. He's got that little ass South Louisiana going on. Bruh, I've been up since 4:30 to come see y'all. Hell yes, man. Let's go. Russell and Dallin on some real ones. And I done told y'all, man, LSU, Tiger Nation, has descended
for sure.
upon Las Vegas. Every airport, there were videos in the New Orleans airport yesterday of the fight song being played throughout the terminal. We were obviously on Mr. Fun, Jason Ramazan's chartered flight yesterday, full of LSU fans, top to bottom. You walk in, you see purple and gold everywhere throughout the city. I'm sure we'll run in to some USC as well. I mean, LA is right there. This is basically Baton Rouge to New Orleans for them, but you know,
it's like 4 hours. But.
You know the D-Gens. The D-Gens from Louisiana were not going to miss a chance to come drink, come gamble, and come watch their Tigers in a brand new state-of-the-art football station and whoop some West Coast soft-ass TikTok floppy-haired Gen Z Trojan losers.
Did Taylor call the principal on us, by the way?
He was freaking out.
He called Bo like,
we're back where they're at.
Hey,
we're back.
Settle down.
Trust me, dude. I just had to recognize a couple real ones.
Guys
dude.
woke up at
Russell Down. That's what I'm saying.
Crack of dawn to come say what's up. We had to go say hello. We're in an actual studio, so we're not out like we typically are.
I don't think I think Whiskey and Wine's not going to be in a studio, which is good. I don't think I could do Whiskey and Wine from a studio. I need to be out and smoking and have the ability to feed off the energy of people.
So when do y'all start Whiskey and Wine? Like how
right
soon,
when
like,
the clock
right
hits
when the clock
zero. Right
okay.
when the clock hits zero, we go live.
So I'm sure I have some post-game responsibilities on the network, but
yeah, I think you got like 30 minutes.
Okay, so
maybe.
not too bad. So I'll be able to come over and hang out though.
Yeah.
How long do y'all do?
About an hour and a half.
Oh,
it might be tough. We'll see. We'll see. You'll be right on the edge. You'll be right on the edge, but. Hopefully,
if we win, I don't think it'll be on the edge.
That's what I'm saying. Hopefully, we'll be partying, and there will be no rush to get out of there, and we can extend the show. I'll be so happy. Let's talk about this game and the parallel narratives between this football game. LSU and USC are two teams that are in incredibly similar spots right now, ways that are both obvious and are not, right? And it starts with the head coaches. We've said it plenty, right? 3 years ago, when the Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly moves were made, these were two of the more splashy hires that I have ever seen in my 10-plus years of doing this job. And they were tied to one another from the very beginning. LSU using Lincoln Riley as a smokescreen as they pursue Brian Kelly. Remember, down to where I heard, I don't know if this is 100% true, but I heard that it got so crazy that at one point, I think a group of LSU boosters actually flew to Norman for some reason because they thought they were meeting with Lincoln or something along those lines. They thought they had some inside information, and basically they just had to come back home. And I don't think that's true, right? But it's indicative of the games that were being played. LSU's making everybody think they're going after Lincoln Riley. Secretly, they're having all these backroom talks with Brian Kelly on everybody's nose. Lincoln Riley using LSU as his own smokescreen as he's secretly having backroom talks with USC in Los Angeles, saying, I remember, I'll never forget, he said, I am not going to be the next head coach at LSU. He did not say I'm not going to leave. So both these guys leave. They're both $10 million coaches. They're both expected to bring immediate success. And Lincoln Riley did that. First year, 11-1 in the Pac-12 championship. You got Caleb Williams at quarterback. You brought Travis Dye from Oklahoma. You stole Jordan Addison from Pitt, right? It felt like all that NIL, transfer portal, Riley, USC, like, oh, my God, the Trojans are back, and the Trojans are back to stay. LSU, admittedly, a rough start, but in the season, beating Alabama, playing in the SEC championship, winning 10 games, something they never thought would have happened. But then in year two, things started to change a bit. For USC, ever since that Pac-12 championship night, nothing has gone right. You lose, you get your ass kicked by Utah.
Yeah.
You then you blow a 15-point lead in the final 2 minutes of a major bowl game against Tulane. You come back the next season, you go 8-5. LSU, on the other hand, second year, still disappointment, lose to Florida State, but you go 6-2 in the SEC for the second year in a row. You win 10 games. But the bottom line is, up to this point, both fan bases are like, okay, we've seen a lot of good, but what we have not seen is what we're looking for with those $10 million coaches, those championships, right? And so this game is the perfect opportunity for both Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly to not only directly punch down and maybe knock out the man who was competing with headlines for a few years ago, but also to try to prove that, no, year three is going to be different, and year three is where we are going to prove to you that this investment was all worth it.
Yeah, you're always going to get graded the hardest in year number 3. We all know that. Mario Cristobal, God, it's hard not to call him Christopher.
Can't do it.
And let me tell you
We're
something, like on off campus, that would be bad if I called him Christopher.
When they get mad, you have to be a little more respectful of coaches there.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. You have a lot of coaches on. Like,
we have a lot of coaches
on. Good business.
So, but it's a great nickname, and like, how can I not use that? Billy Napier, year 3. The coaches we're talking about, BK, Lincoln Riley, year 3. I mean, you're going to get graded the hardest on that year. Now, for BK, he's had back-to-back 10-win seasons. He's built up some equity. Now, LSU fans want championships. That's what this program is, so we understand that. Like, for Lincoln, this is a major year. It's not Mario and Billy Napier. Like, it's not that.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever loses that game, God bless you for the entire week and probably really for the rest of the season. But for Lincoln Riley, this is big.
It is big.
I mean, because of exactly what you said. I mean, you finished your strongest season not even limping. I mean, you were just a body laying on the ground. You blew a lead in that bowl game that you had no business blowing. And credit to Tulane for going and taking the game. But then you did bigger things in the portal as well. Like, and you go get all these players, and you had the same deficiencies.
Yeah.
Like, it was the same story, and you didn't fix anything. Now, they finally move on from Alex Grinch, in which Lincoln was loyal to a fault. But, like, USC paying him all that money, if he goes 8-5, 7-6, anything like that again, the conversation becomes real interesting. So this is massive for Lincoln Riley to be able to come in here and get a victory. And outside of the 2 coaches that we're talking about, Miami and Florida there, he's going to be probably graded the hardest this year in year number 3.
So it's interesting. While I'm painting both programs as being in very similar spots, and again, they are, right? They're both also replacing Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks with guys who are upperclassmen that bided their time, something incredibly rare in college football, right? Garrett Nussmeier grew up an LSU fan, bides his time. He's now finally the starter. Miller Moss, California kid from Santa Monica, grew up a USC fan. All he ever wanted to do was be the Trojans quarterback. He now has his opportunity. Both had the god-awful defenses. Both replaced them with really good defensive coordinators that have already led to massive turnarounds at their previous schools, UCLA and Mizzou. So, again, there are parallels. But to Jake's point, USC is in an objectively worse place right now because of the disaster that last year was. Like, you thought LSU wasted an incredible Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. And to be fair, they did, right? Because that was an offense that was championship worthy without a doubt. But, I mean, USC went 8-5 with Caleb Williams, with a guy coming off the Heisman who was the number 1 pick in the draft, who looks pretty damn good in the NFL thus far and looks like he could maybe be a good, like, quarterback for the Bears, something that we've never seen before. And but here's where it gets a bit interesting to me, Jake, is Yes, it is. The game's incredibly. I mentioned this the other day. Some of the rumors that I'm hearing, and take these with a heavy grain of salt, dude. This is salacious, right? But that's what this job is a lot of times, is salacious, fun kind of rumor talk. But some of the rumors I'm hearing are that Lincoln's a bit checked out. Relationships not great with the fan base, booster base, or the school. We mentioned the fact he's basically had no success recruiting California. I don't know why. He continues to ignore all the blue chippers in his backyard and continue to try to go down south. Some people saying that he's just trying to get to the NFL, right? And that this might be his last year in L.A. And so the point of that is that, yes, right now, and LSU's not like this. LSU's definitely more solid, even though I'll get to why I think this game's so important for Kelly. But right now, USC reminds me of a heavyweight fighter that is not knocked out, but they're wobbly on their feet. Okay, there is blood in the water. And if you catch them with the right haymaker this game, who knows what the ripple effects are. It could literally spell the end of the Lincoln Riley era at USC. That is not the case for LSU, Jake, but I do think this is the most important game of the Brian Kelly era. And it's because what is everything that Brian Kelly talks about? It all goes back to process.
Yep.
And from day one, he has talked about the process, the culture that it instills, creating positive, daily, accountable habits. And from day one, he has talked about how it takes time for that machine to ramp up. Even when last year, when we were giving them championship hype, he was kind of poo-pooing and saying, it's only year 2, wait for year 3. It's only year 2, wait for year 3.
Yeah.
Well, year 3 is here. And the need to go out there and not be embarrassing week 1 and prove that now that you're into year 3, that your process is such that you have a good grasp of who this team is and that your team will be ready to go in a major game that 7, 10, maybe even 11 million people will watch Sunday night. Yeah, it's not like Lincoln, where I think it could almost end the tenure. Like Brian Kelly's going to be here no matter what. But the fan temperament does hang in the balance.
Yeah.
Things will turn hard against BK if they were to come out there and bumble and stumble around like they have for the last 2 seasons this game 1.
Yeah, and it's exactly where my thought process is as well, because you're so process-oriented, because you changed a lot of things, and they needed to be changed. And so I agree with that, but you changed a lot of things to go with your process, the people you brought in, the way you do everything. Like if you were in that building 3 years ago compared to now, like it doesn't look related. The process doesn't. Everything has changed. And so everything that he's done and implemented in the building, like, has worked out, like outside of the opener. Like the opener has been the bugaboo. And so, like, for him, it's kind of the last part of the process. Like, he's already played in an SEC championship game. Now, again, you're LSU. You want to go win those things, play for national championships, last 25 years outside of Alabama. We know you've won the most. But the way they've had to scratch and fight and claw back because they've lost the opener, it's actually been impressive. But just imagine if you won the opener. So, like, that's the last part of the process before we start talking championship part of the process, is getting off to a fast start, being 1-0, and not having to right now just like doggy paddle trying to stay above water because you lose that opener. And if any of those 50-50 games don't go your way, then your main goal, which is to go win the SEC, kind of falls out the window because you're playing from behind the entire rest of the season.
Well, it's again, let's just put a little actual quantifiable numbers to it. If you look at LSU's history, Jake, generally the 9-3 teams that win a bowl game and go 10-3 are 5-3 in the SEC. When LSU goes 6-2, that is almost always a 10-2 regular season, and then almost always finished off, and it's 11-2, and it's one of the best games, one of the best seasons in school history. You don't win 11 games a lot, but when you do, you're always 6-2 in the SEC. That's actually the number that's been harder for LSU to achieve than anything, is 6-2, and yet BK has done that in both years 1 and years 2. Which is pretty wild. It's just been these out-of-conference losses, which for years we didn't lose an out-of-conference game.
No.
I mean, LSU didn't lose an out-of-conference game for like 15, 20 years at one point. It got absurd how long the winning streak got. I think maybe Wisconsin was perhaps the first one to end it. If not bowl game. I'm talking regular season non-conference.
I'm sure you – did you lose a non-conference game in school?
No.
I think –
I mean bowl game, not counting a bowl game, like a Penn State Capital One
I think
bowl.
including bowl games, we lost one in my time, 04 to 07, and that was on a Hail Mary to Iowa, my freshman year.
Yeah, but that's a bowl game.
That's what I'm saying.
So if you take the bowl games out of it, we never lost.
And it wasn't, honestly, like it doesn't matter who it was. And look, we played some good teams. It wasn't like we were playing directional school U. I mean, that Virginia Tech team that we beat the hell out of, they went to an Orange Bowl that year.
Yeah, bro, we played.
Like they were good. And we beat them what? What was the score of that game?
45-7 or something like that.
A lot to a little.
Bro, in 11, we played the Orange Bowl. We beat the Orange Bowl champions, the Rose Bowl champions. I think did West Virginia win the Fiesta Bowl that year? I mean,
you also beat the national champion.
Yes, and we beat the national. Not out of conference, but yes, and we beat the national champions, right? Like, so yeah, it wasn't. We opened the season in North Carolina. It wasn't like we weren't playing anyone, right? But we were just taking care of business in
It
those
was
games.
different. Yeah, it was different.
That
like
has
the
changed.
level of play was different. From every aspect of it was different. And there was we know we're better than you. We're more talented. We're meaner. We're nastier. We're tougher than you. All right? And we are going to impose our will on you. Like, that's the mentality. I'm not saying this team over the last 4 years hasn't had that. But, like, when we were in school, it wasn't non-negotiable. Like, you weren't going to lose a non-conference game.
Hunt Palmer, who, is a bit of a historian in such things, is doing a great job with LouisianaSports.net, guys. You need to go check it out. All of your sports, one website, really well-written pieces, all your favorite teams. Says non-conference regular season win streak went from Virginia Tech 02 to Wisconsin 2016. So there was a 14-year streak there. And in that streak, if you went 6-2 in the SC, you basically went 11-2, which would put you in the playoffs nowadays. Or 10-2.
Firmly, if you're 10-2.
10-2 would put you in the playoffs. So that's why this game is so important. Because you win this, and then you do what you did in years 1 and year 2, and it won't be a fantasy about us sitting there, Christmas lights dancing at the edge of your vision, cold weather in the air, holiday vibes. It won't be fantasizing about watching LSU play in the playoffs come December 20th. It will be a reality. And it all starts Sunday night against USC. So that's kind of the narrative. Let's get into some on-the-field stuff coming up next here on Off the Bench.
Off the bench. Off the bench.
Want to remind you to go to, as I'm bringing it up, what am I doing, T-Bob? The Queen. So we're out here at a casino in Vegas. If you're back home, you want a cool place to watch the game, watch any games, you want to spend your college football Saturday in a pretty great spot, the Queen in Baton Rouge is your newly renovated home for football, guys. The DraftKings Sportsbook is great food, great drinks, great lounge chairs to chill out, watch the games. Oh, how about this? You get cash, You actually get cash at the end of the day, not just numbers on your cell phones going up. We'll be out there for the NFL opener coming up on Thursday. If you want to come hang out with us, there's a 1770 restaurant with great drinks and food right next door. They got Shaq's Big Chicken, the 3-Walk Noodle House, all your games you want. Go to the Queen today.
Yeah, T-Bob's right. You're not going to recognize it. It is an incredible setup. We took a tour a couple of weeks ago. We were blown away. You will be as well. Come hang out with us. Watch that NFL opening game with Team OTB at the Queen.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, T-Bob Drake, Bo Wegman here on site. We got Musso and Taylor. Hey, holding that back. I can only fathom the amount of takes that are going on in each commercial break with those two guys sitting next to each other. I doubt either one is listening to the other. They're just waiting for the other to stop taking so they can start taking.
Moose is taking about the Red Sox and Dylan Cruz and Paul Skeens, and Tay-Tay is taking on CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott. Oh, fantasy draft.
He's just yelling at Musso about fantasy.
No doubt.
I got the 8th pick, but it wasn't that bad. It was a snake draft. I got 2 picks in a row. I get it. I'm having to fight the temptation to talk about how pissed I am at that Minnesota kicker from last night, because I know nobody cares about your fantasy team. Nobody cares about your gambling losses. The overall point is gambling on college football's back, and it's fun, and college football kickers suck, and that's why it's so hard to kick in that video game.
I don't even talk about the gambling losses unless I'm you and I were together.
Ooh, you have some. You always have some, and because I guess that's the nature of going for the insane parlays that you do, that you hit way more often than you should. But you always have some heartbreaking bad beats.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the king of one away. There's no question about it. But again, like you said, nobody really cares about that. You and I were riding together last night. That was fun. We're going to do the same thing again
throughout
tonight.
The weekend.
Yeah, we will be sweating Wisconsin, Western Michigan at some point tonight.
I'm excited, and I'm sorry, y'all. We'll get right back to USC and LSU throughout the show today.
We got 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. Games I'm excited for tonight. I would say first and foremost, I want eyes on Oklahoma. I think it's like this. Do you remember when Bo Nix went to Oregon and we all thought Bo Nix still sucked? And then granted, they came out against Georgia, they got beat 30-3, and we're all making the jokes. Same old Bo picks. The next week, they played Eastern Washington, and they won 70-3. And Bo Nix threw for 1 billion yards and 5 touchdowns. And at the time, we're all like, whatever, dude. It's Eastern Washington, right? Well, Oklahoma plays Temple tonight. If Jackson Arnold puts up massive stats against Temple, nobody's going to care except for Oklahoma fans. But but maybe it could end up being one of those Knicks things where we look back, we're like, oh, wow, that's the first time that we saw that, oh, wait, no, Jackson Arnold could actually be very good.
Jackson Arnold is talented. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
He's got talent. Now, in the bowl game against Arizona, he tried to do too much. And Noah Fafita was doing it on the other side, and it was his first start. And he probably was pressing a little bit. And when I talked to him in SEC Media Days, like, he admitted it. He's like, man, I was out there, like, throwing across my body late. I was doing things that I didn't even do in high school. He said I was trying to make too many plays. And so the talent's there, but I'm with you. Like, I want to get eyes on Oklahoma. No Dylan Gabriel, no Jeff Levy. Either.
I know.
Like, no Jeff Levy is something that's not really being talked about. Jeff Levy, one of the better offensive play callers. That's why Mississippi State is my Let's Get Weird team of the year. I'm excited to see kind of what that looks like. Oklahoma's got a great roster. They've got a good team. I think Jackson Arnold's going to be a really good starter in the SEC. If they didn't have the schedule that they have, I would be so much higher on Oklahoma. If they had Missouri's schedule, I would put them in the playoff right now, but they don't. And so that's why I don't think the wins are going to actually tell the full story of who Oklahoma is.
Yeah, and look, and they had Stutzman, who is an absolute dog at linebacker.
Again, term of endearment.
Anyway, so Oklahoma first. Then who's the Power 4 and Power 4 matchup again?
You've got TCU traveling to Stanford.
Yeah, which, okay. I like that just because those are two kind of relatively equivalent teams. Oh, yeah, look at that. The Star Wars Hawaiian shirt with a stormtrooper on the back. Let's go, dude. Man. Right up my alley. Hell
done.
Dude.
Well done.
The Tiger fans starting to show up.
Boys, it is early, and they are out here.
Yeah, I know. Hey, they pour these oxygens in these rooms, right? So then I would probably – and then, yes, I want to see what does Wisconsin look like.
I'll see Tyler Van Dyke in the Dairy Raid.
Yes.
Tanner Mordecai was okay. He was kind of banged up all year. It didn't really work.
He looked great against LSU.
He did. It wasn't even Tyler Van Dyke. Or, sorry, it wasn't even – was it Mordecai?
It was Mordecai.
Game?
It was still Mordecai in
the
game.
game.
Yes.
And I know the receivers went off.
So I remember yelling about how you can't lose to this Amish-sounding mother.
Well, I think Tyler Van Dyke has had really good moments in college football. I think he wasn't consistent, but neither was Miami. I know Luke Fickell. I love Luke Fickell. I think there will be more consistency around him. And so Wisconsin, are they going to go win the Big Ten? No, they're not. But they can be a team that is 8-4 and pulls off an upset or two within the Big Ten. So, yeah, Tyler Van Dyke to me is going to be intriguing tonight.
No, there's no and only the real sickos will care about this, but I am somewhat intrigued to watch Michigan State maybe. Jonathan Smith's
If you
first
mean
game.
real sickos, you mean are going to have action on Michigan State and Florida Atlantic? Sign me up for sicko duty, sir.
Jonathan Smith's first game at Michigan State. They really like that young quarterback, Aiden Childs.
Yeah.
We'll see how he does. All right, so there's a little random Friday night preview. Sorry, I didn't mean to stumble into that. When we get back, we will get back to LSU, USC on the field. Let's start to break down some of the matchups, how we feel about it, and that'll continue all the way through hour 2. So come hang out with us. A ton of people watching right now, guys. Freaking love it. Nearly 600 here on the channel. Hit the like button. Sub to the channel. More OTB coming up next.
Off the bench.
Hey, I want to remind you about Pinnacle Exterior Construction. I tell you every day about them. That's PECbuilt.com, PECbuilt.com. You go to Pinnacle Exterior Construction today for all of your outdoor living area needs. That could be pools of any kind. That could be an outdoor kitchen, just an outdoor living area, chilling area, a patio of sorts, any size, type of fence, bulkheads, pergolas. It's all at Pinnacle. They build the spaces, you build the memories, and that's what this is about, making the home of your dreams where you, your kids, everybody wants to hang out. Go look at the quality of the work at PECbuilt.com, guys. Look at the artisanship. Pinnacle Exterior Construction.
It's residential and commercial, so everything you see right there on the website, PECbuilt.com, they can do it your home or your business. And we've been telling you over the last couple of weeks and months, check out the artificial turf. I mean, it is something that you can add to your backyard. You can have a putting green. For me, like a place to work out. No matter the weather, it's always going to be there. PECbuilt.com.
We're Rev Business, a local provider with nearly 90 years of experience. So when it comes to business in Louisiana, we know that personalized service is key. And we're here to go the extra mile with all fiber solutions that deliver what every business needs: reliability and quality. We're not just providers. We're the local team dedicated to helping you succeed. True partnerships are homegrown. Rev Business, internet, phone, managed services. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, roll right along here live from the MGM Sportsbook at Mandalay Bay in Sin City, Las Vegas. This is one of those rare occasions where I hope that what happens in Vegas does not stay in Vegas, because I want the entire world to get to watch this ass beating come Sunday night, Jake. I was talking to some people at the airport about this yesterday. This is a bit of a, here's where I'm at with this game. And we got a couple minutes here, and then next hour we can really start some on-field analysis. But analytically, looking at the matchups on the field, and what we know, there's a lot that we don't know, we can't quite know before the season starts, but looking at the matchups that we know, looking at the directions of the two programs, looking at the resumes of the head coaches, looking at what we've seen out of the two quarterbacks in their limited time, even though they're similar in their stories.
Yeah.
And looking at things like recruiting rankings over the last few years, right? And kind of top to bottom roster. Analytically, I feel that LSU is the better team. And I feel that LSU should win. Again, I keep going back to that. The O-line is 6'6", 320 on average, going against the D-line that's 6'3", 290. That should be a massive, and there's advantages that you can find all over the field. So analytically, I feel like LSU should win this game, potentially even win it handily. The problem is the paranoia and the fear created by the last few years. So like my emotions and past bad experiences are at war with what on paper I think looks like an advantage for the Tigers.
Yeah, we really talked about it all season long, right? When week 1 rolls around, are we going to give ourselves over to what we actually think and see and believe because of our eyes and the analytics and everything the story tells us? Or are we going to be like, hold up, like I got to see it. It's got to be different. Like, because I'm still, honestly, all the things you said I agree with, but I'm like, I have to see it for myself. I have to see in week number 1, you go out there and 2 years ago you started incredibly slow. Now you finished like hell, but it wasn't enough. And then last year you started fast as hell, but you didn't finish.
Yeah.
Right? If you finish those drives, remember they got down to the goal line and they were in the red zone so many times and didn't come away with points. Like,
so weird to think about how good that offense would become too.
That crushed them. And so, yes, I agree with you. I mean, I think when you look at the individual matchups where they're deficient, I think you're really good. And your deficiencies, I still have questions about, are they good? Like their receiver position. I've been told that they've got A, B, and C, but I think A's really good. I need to see more from B and C. All of those things tell me that LSU is going to be successful in this matchup. But because of past history, the last 4 years, but certainly the last 2 years, what's it going to look like in the opener? If this was the second game of the year, I feel like I would fully give myself over. But it's just like, for whatever reason, the way you've played the last 2 years, I mean, 2 years ago was one of the weirdest games I've ever watched in my life. The way that game played out in the Superdome.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of – I mean, if it didn't involve so much pain, it would be one of the craziest and admittedly sloppy but most fun drunk games of all time, even down to where it looks like the nail's about to be put in your coffin. They, for some reason, pitch the ball on the goal line. They fumble. We got our first glimpse of Jaden Daniels and his ability to be clutch and go out there and make game-winning plays. He puts the team in a position, and you have the most inexplicable kick protection breakdown for the second time on the day that we've really ever seen. So yes, that's I guess that's the thing. 2 years ago there was a lot of inexplicable. Now last year that Florida State team was just better. They were more prepared, and well, your defense, we all, we thought
when you didn't
we had no idea how bad the defense was going to be up to that point. So let's do this to start next hour. I want to go do a couple things. I want to go position by position and think which team has which advantage. And then I also want to look into kind of what are the greatest unknowns of these games and maybe try to predict who we think will have improved in said unknowns more. And again, thank you all for hanging out with us this morning. Continue to do so. Hit the like button, guys. Ton of y'all watching. That's awesome. More OTB Hour 2 coming up next.
Off the bench.
Go to K2Z window coverings, KTOZblinds.com, KTOZblinds.com. You need window coverings that take your home to the next level. Maybe you're back in Baton Rouge. You're going to be grilling and chilling for this weekend. Chances are, if you're outside in your backyard, you might get a little hot. Why don't you have K2Z out to your home and see if maybe they can install some drop-down exterior shading out there for you, okay? Keep you chill while you're cooking. Also, help out with glare. If you got maybe like an outdoor TV, help out with glare on the inside. Cool off the inside of your house. Help save money because your AC's not having to work as hard. Like, that's the craziest thing about K2Z is it's functional and aesthetic. K2Z window coverings.
Yeah, like T-Bob said, go get one of those outdoor shades. It's going to help you outside, but also maybe even inside like it has for us. I mean, it cools down our entire home because of where it's set up, and K2Z knows exactly where to put it. They're going to know that like in 5 minutes. KTOZblinds.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Friday, August 30th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect rainy skies with a high of 95. In hour 2 of today's show, we'll continue our discussion of all things college football and keep the discussion going on LSU versus USC. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the MGM Sportsbook at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah, 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 yeah!
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to OTB. Hour number 2. Already at 100 likes. You love to see it, guys. Football's in the air. LSU-USC in the air here in Las Vegas. A ton of purple and gold creeping all around. I'll be interested to see how much Trojan gold we end up finding as the weekend goes on. Everybody's coming here, travel safe, all that good stuff. All right, let's go ahead and continue to break down LSU-USC. We are at the MGM Sportsbook here in Mandalay Bay. Pretty great setup, man. Just a billion TVs in here. But if you're in Baton Rouge, remember, go check out the Queen, dude. Billion TVs in there as well. All right, Jake, let's start going on the field. We'll go position by position and start to say who we think has the advantage. And all right, let's maybe start off the field. Head coach. Who has the coaching staff as a whole? Who has the advantage? LSU or USC? Start with the head coach, then we'll go staff as a whole. Sorry, guys. Very excited, very all over the place.
No, I think Brian Kelly is still every preseason. So this is an LSU show guy saying that. I mean, every list that you see of best head coaches in the country, I mean,
You could say it with your chest. It doesn't matter.
5.
If somebody wants to say we're biased, I can point you to a million different sources.
Right, that's what I'm
say
saying.
We're not.
Like, we're both going to give you Brian Kelly, but that's not just us saying it. I mean, the college football hive mind's going to tell you Brian Kelly.
Yes.
In that, if you asked which one or the other.
Never forget, as Jake has said, USC has never had a team. Lincoln Riley, has never had a team finish ranked higher than the one that he had previously. Now, granted, this year, I think he'd almost have to do that, right?
Yeah.
Unless the wheels completely come off, because last year was so bad, by far the worst team he's ever had. But BK is someone who has built at every level that he's been at. He's currently the winningest active coach in college football. His year 3s, and he told you as much at SEC Media Days, have been excellent every single stop, whether it was Grand Valley, Cincinnati, Notre Dame. Year 3 is always where a big jump takes place. Okay, so head coach, easy, not even close, LSU as the advantage. What about the staff as a whole? And this is kind of interesting because I would include Lincoln Riley in this conversation as well, given that he's the OC. Right? And a very strong OC is that. Like, I'll give the advantage to USC over Joe Sloan. Love Joe Sloan, but Lincoln Riley's proven to be one of the best quarterback whisperers and play callers in the entire country.
Yeah, I guess if you're putting the head coach because he is the play caller, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, that is the strongest thing that he does.
Yes.
Is call plays, design plays, create mismatches, and so he's one of the best. I mean, he'd be top 5 play callers maybe in the country. So they got the advantage here. And that's not besmirching what LSU has, but that is the strongest thing they have on their coaching staff is his ability to call play.
Now, getting into, like, assistants, I mean, I would take Frank Wilson, Brad Davis, Cortez Hankton, Slade Nagel. I'm maybe not as passionately about as those other guys, but he's done great fine as well. But, like, no, I'll take that group, a position group offensively over anyone. Brad Davis is one of the best in the country for a reason, and that's been proven over time. Cortez Hankton, I think Georgia misses Cortez Hankton. Look at how that receiver room fell off after he left versus how LSU took an immediate rise when he got there. I think Cortez Hankton has been massive. So, head coach, LSU, OC, USC, assistant offensive coaches, LSU in my mind.
Do you know who, in title only, because we know Lincoln's calling the plays, but do you know who the OC in title is for USC?
No.
Josh Henson, former LSU tight end coach.
Oh, that's right, man. I love Coach Henson, too. That's
Coach
my
Henson.
boy.
I actually
Very good coach, too. Been all over the
actually
place.
FaceTimed with Henson and Pivoto this summer randomly.
Wow.
They called us up,
I'll never forget where I at Coach Henson's house back in college. He had this young son, probably like 8 or 9 at the time, and he's kind of talking some noise, and he's kind of talking back to his dad a little bit, and then he went sprinting away, and Henson had a lightsaber, and he threw the lightsaber, and it perfectly, it was like that scene in Big Daddy where they're tripping the skaters with the stick. The lightsaber perfectly caught him mid-stride, like in his legs, tripped him up and fell over. I was like, damn, son.
Yeah.
That was like a bounty. That was like a Boba Fett level throw right there.
You're going to learn today.
Shout out Coach Henson, legend. I love him, but I'll go LSU there. But again, that's probably my weakest of the judgments because I don't know too much about USC's position coaches. I just really believe in LSU's. Okay, defensive coordinator, and here's where it starts to become a bit obscure because we keep talking about it, right? What do we not know about Georgia Tech? How good was Santucci going to get that defense? What do we know about these two teams? What is D'Anton Lynn going to do with USC's defense? What is Blake Baker's going to do with LSU's?
Yeah, that is the great unknown because both places that they just come from, they take a much worse defense, and it is not just a little improved. I mean, it's greatly improved. And we've gone through all the metrics, but like for D'Anton Lynn, like we don't have a lot of college success experience outside of the 1 year. Now, he was very successful at UCLA. He's an NFL guy. So you look at what Blake Baker's done. Look, Blake's been a coordinator at Louisiana Tech, Miami, Missouri, now here at LSU. Like, he has been forged in college football more than Lynn. And so we just have more to go off of with Blake Baker as a coordinator at this level, where D'Anton Lynn, again, he's an NFL guy. First time that he was a coordinator was a year ago.
Yeah.
So, like, the experience of calling a defense, that certainly goes to Blake Baker.
Yes, I would agree with that. The one stat that is very good in D'Anton Lynn's favor, we always talk about Baker taking Mizzou immediately from a team that ranked in the hundreds to then a team that ranked 33rd.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know exactly what metric, the points per game, the yards per game. But in EPA per play, I read this the other day. All you need to know is that's an analytic trying to basically establish how good are you doing each play. It's whatever. D'Anton Lynn took a UCLA defense that ranked 111 and had them 8th the next year. So both guys do have an extreme turnaround job on their resume. That said, I don't feel like it's as clear-cut maybe as on the other side of the ball, but I would go with Blake Baker as well, because like Jake said, he's done it on the college level for multiple years, whereas D'Anton Lynn could maybe still be running into some new problems that he's never quite run into before. All right, defensive assistants then, Jake. And again, I don't know that you're going to get me to choose anybody but LSU when you bring in Bo Davis, who was already making $1 million to be a D-line coach, is now making 1.5. To give you an idea of what the market thinks about him, Corey Raymond, the legendary godfather of DBU, coming back. Who's coaching edge? Why am I blanking?
Peoples.
Kevin Peoples is supposed to be one of the fastest risers in the industry. I mean, you heard Brian Kelly, because we'll talk about edge defenders in a second, but that could be one of the strengths of this LSU team. And when Brian Kelly was asked about it during camp, he said, "Oh, it's Kevin Peoples." Like, just flat out. It's Kevin Peoples. So I think that LSU staff, top to bottom, is superior to that of USC.
So USC has a lot of NFL coaches that are making the transition to college football this year, and so those are some unknowns for me. Like Eric Henderson, he's their co-defense coordinator, run game coordinator, D-line coach. He's coming over from the Rams. Like, he was in the NFL for a long time, and that's where he was a D-line coach. And so, again, it's a different game. It's kind of hard to know how that's going to translate. We've seen it work out before. We've also, like at LSU, we've seen it go poorly. Like, whenever you brought in NFL coordinators to coordinate college football,
yeah,
like, no matter if they were like Jake Peets was an NFL guy, and you've had some of those guys, Linehan, right, come over and be NFL guys. I know.
I think I tried to black those names out.
Yeah. Scott Linehan was not that long ago involved in play calling at LSU.
All right, so overall coaching advantage. Again, although Lincoln probably wins in the OC department, I do like the LSU staff top to bottom better here. But on the defensive side, in the D coordinator conversation, I don't want to disrespect D'Anton Lynn too much. That's with a bit of the unknown. Okay, it's not as clear cut. All right, quarterback, most important position on the field, the queen, worth 10 points. The position that moves everything else around it. Miller Moss or Garrett Nussmeier?
I thought we were going quarterback coach. I'm like, look, I'm.
Oh no, we're done with coaches.
Luke Heward, Brock Heward's brother, is the quarterback coach there.
Damn, does he have
USC.
that same chin?
No.
Brock Heward's got a Hall of Fame chin. Wow, poor Luke doesn't have a chin. I would be devastated if I was Brock's brother. I'm looking at a picture of Luke right now. That's really sad.
Yeah, it's got to be Brock. I know is his brother or is it his? Yeah, I think it's his brother. Either way, yeah, I mean, Brock, great chin. Okay, so we're going to the actual position. I mean, I'm still going to go Nussmeier. I do think Miller Moss is a good quarterback. I just think Nuss, it wasn't just a bowl game. Like, for Miller Moss, it was a bowl game, which he played incredible against Louisville. Like, Nussmeier's been here a long time.
Yeah.
Like, you go back to 2021 where Max Johnson starts the game, but then Nussmeier comes in for the entirety of the game after that. You go back to times where he's had to come in for an injured quarterback. In the SEC championship game against one of the best defenses we have seen in recent memory in college football, and he's successful. Like, there's just times that we can point to where he came in and looked the part, and it didn't look like you had your backup quarterback in. And I do think a lot of Miller Moss, but I'm still going to give the edge to Garrett Nussmeier. I'm just expecting, and then guys that know the position way better than we do, like Flynn. Like, he's been on
He's like fully
the
on.
Gus bus. I mean,
The Gus
bus,
bus.
Nuss
That's
bus.
UCF. You still got
Yeah.
UCF on the mind.
He's been on the Nuss bus for that was a saying though, right? I'm not crazy. Gus
What?
bus was a thing.
I think so.
Yeah,
I
feels
think
like
so.
it
I
was.
feel like it could be.
And then Matt's like, look, I went to practice one time when the kid was like a freshman. I'm like, yep, he's got it. And then he's like continued to double down on that take. So I'm going to trust somebody that played a decade in the league at that position. And, we've seen it. He's ready to go. I do give a slight edge to Nussmeier.
So I, too, really enjoy Miller Moss's story. Hometown kid, stuck around, as did Nuss, learned from Caleb Williams, survived Malachi Nelson, survived them bringing in Jordan Mailata. But I used the word survived intentionally. Brian Kelly had such belief, and Brian Kelly knows quarterbacks. You got to remember this. This is one of the interesting things that Miles Brennan told me when Brian Kelly got the job, and one of the reasons why Miles had initially agreed to come back and play again was Brian Kelly told him, look, like, I'm in the quarterback room every day.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I do. That is who I'm helping out. That's the position that I know. So Brian Kelly really believes in his evaluation of quarterbacks. Kelly made Nuss come back with the promise that you are the heir. You are coming up next. Lincoln Riley, who also really knows quarterbacks. Like I said, maybe one of the premier quarterback whisperers in college football, never gave Miller Moss that same love. Even to the point where Riley only named him the starter after fall camp. And even then said, look, Jordan Mailata's grown a ton, and we have no problem putting him in. So, with Nuss, you have full-on belief the team is yours. It's really been yours for over a year now, even to the point where in the bowl game 2 years ago, they were switching him and Jaden to keep him happy. Think about that.
Oh, I kind of that gets out of my mind.
Dude.
You're exactly
2
the
years
Purdue
ago in the
game.
bowl game, they gave him plays against Purdue just in
a
series,
lot of plays
just to make him happy and be like, bro, we believe in you. Stick around. Lincoln resorted to Miller Moss, and he still is not fully giving himself over to Miller Moss. So I think it is obvious that that Nussmeier is the answer here. And again, I like Moss. I like his gumption. I like his toughness, sticking around, hometown kid. But I do think Nuss is just on a different level talent-wise. And you can see it in the arm strength and everything else like that as well.
That is a fantastic point that you make there. The Purdue game is something that, honestly, I just, because LSU just crushed them, I just forget about that. But, I mean, they were basically, after the second series of the game, just like rotating.
Yeah.
The Heisman Trophy winner, who had a monster year that year.
He had a good year. But they knew what they had in us, and they knew they had to keep him around and have him convinced that, no, man, you're going to be the guy. Just continue to be patient, please. Not the case of Miller Moss. All right. Hey, I do want to thank our presenting sponsor for having us here in Baton Rouge. Shout out Rev Business, Goodwood Men's Clinic for having us here at the in Las Vegas for this LSU season opener. Y'all are the absolute best, always helping us get to where we need to be covering these events live. So shout out Rev Business and Goodwood Men's Clinic. When we get – go ahead.
Sorry, I did want to make one more point about UCLA's turnaround, because I know we're talking coaches here in this segment. No Oregon and no Washington for that defense last year.
Okay, that is significant.
Utah, but without Cam Rising.
Yep, and their offense was – everybody shut down Utah's offense.
Was it Bryson Barnes? God bless him. He tried. He tried hard. I mean, they played Colorado, who Shedeur Sanders, but they played them at the back end of the schedule, right? So Colorado had already fallen apart. They played at Arizona, where they scored. Arizona scored 28, but no Bo Nix, no Michael Penix Jr., no Oregon, no Washington. I mean, it's nitpicking a little bit, but those were the two best offenses in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
And you missed them.
Yes, that would definitely move the needle.
And if we go over to Missouri, where Blake Baker was, they played LSU and Jaden Daniels. They played Georgia. They played Tennessee. They played some of the bigger teams.
That's completely fair point.
In the SEC. And then they played Ohio State in a bowl game in which they gave up 3 points.
Oof.
Now, you know,
I mean,
some
granted,
opt-outs
the
for
quarterback
sure,
was
but
wearing 33.
who's still there and was competing for the job,
Poor
Devin Brown.
Can't win a job.
No. Well, take off 33. I love being unique and all, but only Doug Flutie can wear a number above 19, okay?
All right, when we get back, so we've done quarterback. Let's get to all the other position groups. Keep it locked here on Off the Bench.
Off the bench.
Go to oakparkevents.com, guys. That's oakparkevents.com. And check it out, fellas. You just got engaged. Congratulations. That's awesome. I got a great way for you to get some early brownie points. You tell your wonderful fiance, hey, baby, what's up? You know, I'm so excited to get married that I was doing some research, and I found a couple of great venues that we could check out. Don't tell her I told you, okay? Because that's going to cheapen it. You found this on your own, okay? And you're going to say, yeah, you know, we should go check out Oak Lodge. Be like, yeah, I told this is like New Orleans charm, right? This great brass and mahogany bar. It's going to blow your mind. 3 venue spaces. It's elegantly appointed with beautiful finishes. It's wonderful. Or maybe you want something a little more outdoorsy. Let's go tour Park 73, okay? And she's like, oh my God, look at you. You're so involved. You care. And the relationship is off to an excellent start. And when you're talking about Oak Park Events, they've done thousands of weddings, guys. Okay, so you can customize it however you want. It's a turnkey service. They are the experts. They take care of everything. Go to oakparkevents.com for your wedding. We also do corporate events, social events, catering, all of that as well. Oak Park, P-A-R-C, oakparkevents.com.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, you know, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, you know. We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Shout out the Wet Belly boys out there. Welcome back, OTB. What is this chill-ass music? We need a little more.
Where's the sabotage?
Look, yesterday was R&B day, okay, Moose? And that
was a banger. That's generic white bread.
What do you want?
I need you to take the initiative here and just, I don't know.
Like Beastie Boys.
Give me something that gets me just rock hard fired up, okay? Just
play Sabotage.
You can do that.
Ready to run through a freaking wall, dude. Give me death metal if you have
or,
to.
Like if you get like Louisiana rap or something, like Cash Money.
Yeah. Maybe some Boosie. Give me some Boosie.
No, T-Bob, I got you. I got you. I got you.
Okay, good. I've seen you gritty before, Moose.
And I've heard the legend of it.
I know you got more culture than people would guess.
Yes.
Okay, you're a little more seasoned than people think. Bo, you strike me as a death metal guy. Are you a death metal guy? I feel like you've gone through metal phases. Maybe I'm wrong here. All right, let's get back to by the way, you know what, Moose? I forgot to do this. That's on me. My head's spinning. Very excited to be here. Let's go ahead and we're not really getting the show started, but play me the Tiger labor and staffing staff so I can give some love to our homies.
It's time to get to work, courtesy of Tiger Labor and Staffing, where they can help take care of screening, training, payroll, and more. Now, for starters.
There you go. Not starting the show. That's on me, but shout out Tiger Labor and Staffing, man. You need the right person for the job. This could be everything from industrial, construction, even clerical work. You need that person this day to day. You get in touch with Tiger Labor and Staffing. They got your back. And, guys, if you are looking for work, get in touch with Tiger Labor and Staffing, and they will place you in the right job. And we've had, careers develop out of these relationships. And it's a true turnkey service where they do pay work, all the paperwork, right? Payroll, everything. So it's Tiger Labor and Staffing, the local guys that have been at it for over a decade. All right, Jake, we ended on quarterback. Next, let's go to offensive line. Yes, not even close.
No, you have, I think, the best offensive line in the country. The only teams that you could put up there, you put Georgia up there. Oklahoma State deserves a mention in this category, but I'm not going to get away from having potentially 2 first-round picks, guards that have started, so many games. And, yes, you're starting a new center, and that comes with challenges. But, you've said this a bunch. Like, if you've got 2 veteran guards, that makes it so much easier to have a younger center. But I'm going to lean on those 2 tackles. Will Campbell, I've said it all season. I think he's the best player in college football, not just the best offensive tackle. I think Emory Jones is a surefire top 5 tackle in all of college football. And then you have the added benefit of Will Campbell giving you all the quotes that he gave you this week. You don't think that he's locked in and ready to go, and he's tired of losing these openers. He's never won an opener in his LSU career. This is his last chance. Breaking news: Will Campbell's not going to stay for a 4th year. So, there's no metric that you couldn't give me any analytic of what USC's offensive line is and make me change my mind. It's in absolutes.
Well, what's interesting about this is on an O-line to O-line basis, it's not close, like Jake is saying. What is a bit intriguing to me is in the 2 battles of the lines, you're going to get strength on strength and weakness on weakness. Right now, if you look at USC, the strength of their defense, well, their secondary is pretty good as well, and that's really been the best part for a couple of years now. Even though, overall they may be a bit undersized compared to the Giants and LSU's O-line, Lincoln Riley still believes that the D-line is, if not the best position group on the team, close to being the best position group on the team. And they still have names like Bear Alexander. Remember, Will Campbell talking about, we're going to run the ball. I'm telling you right now, we're going to run the ball. Bear Alexander saw that. He quote tweeted it with a bunch of smiling devil and ninja emojis, which basically I translate as, okay, you say that, bring it on, right? So It's going to be strength on strength, USC's D-line against LSU's O-line. The thing is, I will still take LSU's offensive line in that battle because I'll take them against anybody in the entire country. You flip it, Jake, and it's going to be weakness on weakness. USC does not feel great about their offensive line. In fact, tackle remains a weakness on this team. It's one of the wild parts about moving Jonah Monheim, a guy who played both left and right tackle last 2 seasons and had a 90 grade on PFF. They move him to center. So that's the only position that they feel good about on that entire O-line. Kind of question marks around. Then again, LSU's defensive line also full of question marks. So O-line, LSU clearly with the advantage, though it will be strength on strength. Who has the advantage when it comes to the defensive line?
I mean, so for USC, it's kind of the same thing. Like, it's names that we've heard of just because of the second portal window.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the second portal window, there would be no LSU fan listening to this show right now that would know who Bear Alexander is. Not one. Like, I feel confident in saying that.
Maybe from the national championship 2 years ago, but yes, the majority of his attention came
Bear
from,
had, 2 sacks in the national championship game.
And that was it.
But every part of Georgia had 2 sacks in the national championship game against TCU.
True.
Right? And I'm not saying that to be like, hey, we know who – hell, I didn't know who Bear Alexander was until the national championship game. And the only reason I still know is because I interviewed him on the field. I didn't even notice he had 2 sacks because everybody had success that day. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he's become a name because for whatever reason, the last 2 years in the second portal window, the defensive tackle position has been the most popular.
Yeah.
The last 2 years.
Yeah.
And so now
I would have paid Bear Alexander. Remember, I was
Simeon Barrow. Did you know who Simeon Barrow was before this portal window from Michigan State to Miami?
No, but now he's with the Canes.
Exactly.
Shout out.
And so I think that's why you know Bear Alexander's name. Like Anthony Lucas has been a lot of, I've been told he's blue chip this, blue chip that, more than actual.
Was he not good at A&M 2 years ago?
More than actual success.
I thought he was good at A&M. No, just a big recruit.
I'm trying to think. I used to have it on a note card that I kept in my backpack because
ready to dispel any hype.
The blue chip, the blue chip stuff. He was one of the names that was on the card. So I'm not saying that they. I'm not giving LSU's defensive line like this is a push to me. This is names for USC that we know because of different circumstances in the transfer portal. I think both units have something to prove. Without
Lucas
question.
didn't do anything at A&M in 22, really.
And I remember when he was
last year,
right? But when he was in the portal, because of what he was out of high school, which again just doesn't make sense to me, because you've had sample size now in college football that hasn't translated. It's a name. They've got names. They don't have production. Now LSU, I'm not sitting here and saying that no. LSU's got guys that have to prove themselves. Jacoby and Guillory's been waiting on this moment. He sat behind Jaquelin Roy and Mason Smith and Mekhi Wingo and Jordan Jefferson. And there's probably some names we could go even farther back that he's had to wait behind. Okay, he's been a player that's played a little bit, not a lot. Well, now this is your defensive line. You're the leader in that room.
Yep.
Like, you've got to go prove it. So,
and he's done well in that regard.
Yeah, so far. Like, games have to be played. So, honestly, I would just say it's a push. It's a unit that is unknown. It's a unit that has to raise their level of play on both sides for both teams.
I would say that I could definitely get behind the push idea, especially because, again, it's strength on strength, weakness on weakness, right? So even if you think that USC's is a bit better man-to-man, I think they would still have the tougher matchup, having to go up against that LSU offensive line. Just for the math of the conversation, I'll say USC. But again, like Jake said, it's not like – again, I am feeling – I'm starting to get more – especially with the weak USC offensive tackles, I'm starting to get more and more bullish about this edge group really surprising you in this first game and putting some pressure on Miller Moss. The one thing I'm concerned about with the defense is really, I think I like LSU's front seven, actually. The thing I'm most concerned with is the coverage holding up if they're asked to play man against some of these USC weapons.
So let's go back to Anthony Lucas real quick. And T-Bob, you mentioned it. So he was I think he was if I'm not mistaken, like not only a 5-star, like what do y'all call it? 5-star plus? or something that makes
if you're a consensus
that
5-star,
makes no sense to me. But
all the 5-star plus, you can instead of plus just say consensus. All the recruiting services had him as a consensus.
I think I was a 2-star plus if they had it back then.
No, you were 3-star plus, weren't you?
They changed it after I got drafted, I think.
Oh wow.
So Anthony Lucas, when he was a freshman, he's a freshman. I don't really take a ton of, but he played in 7 games. He had no sacks, 1 tackle for loss. Okay, he's a freshman. Then he goes to USC, plays in 13 games, has 3.5 tackles for loss, and again, no sacks.
Yeah, I know.
So in his career, he's played 20 college football games, and he has no sacks to his name. So again, like this was a player that a lot of the kind of breakdown of who he is comes from what he could have been or what we thought he was going to be. Now he's still got time. He's a young player. I'm trying to totally besmirch who he is, but he doesn't have a sack yet, and he's a starter. So yeah, there's still question marks on their defensive line, just like there is for LSU. And honestly, LSU's got more experience. Like Swinson and Shane, like they got sacks to their name in their career.
True,
you know,
true. I mean, LSU was middle of the pack in sacks last year.
When you said that, that did surprise me.
They would just always blow it. You know, every time they created the negative play, they'd give up 3rd and 15. Here's what Lincoln Riley had to say about his D-line, then we'll go to break. Quote, because he said when they went from Grinch to Lynn that the D coordinator was like, bruh, we got to beef up on the D-line. Because, yes, USC's front 7 2 years ago even was shockingly tiny. Lincoln saying, quote, we've made obviously a lot of changes there. Pretty much every single possible way you could change it, we've changed it. How we practice, certainly the size, the nutrition factor, obviously the weight and strength that we put on these guys that we brought in. Certainly how we're playing, not just call-wise, but from a technique standpoint, is very different as well. And then he goes on to say, to get us, to see us get a chance to put that on display is important. I think any of the changes that have happened, that position group has been the most extreme. And so I think, naturally for me, that's the one I'm most excited to see. So Lincoln is very pumped.
Was that like Mickey Mouse?
Yeah, remember remember when we played the video of Tattoo Baker, that disgruntled Oklahoma fan account that applies the Mickey Mouse voice filter to everything Lincoln Riley says, and it is fantastic. So basically Lincoln's saying, look, we've remade that group top to bottom. I think they're one of the best groups on the team. I think both in technique, kind of like what we're saying about LSU, right? Yeah. I think their technique's way better. I think they're bigger. Well, we gonna see. We gonna see, because they got a huge test talking about that going against that LSU offensive line. All right, when we get back, we talk about lines. Let's get into some skill groups. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
Reminding you guys, like I do every single day, that you want to go to Community Steel Company for all of your steel needs. Community Steel Company, communitysteelco.com. I am so pleased to be partnered with Community Steel. I believe in them. I believe in their products. I believe in their customer service. I believe that if you need purlin, tubing, roofing, sheet metal, steel buildings, any steel accessories, you go to Gonzales, Louisiana. You can see the product, touch it, feel it, taste it, lick it, squeeze it, drop it, twist it, turn it. And you get it at the best prices because there's no middleman jacking up the price for you on the back end, okay? Go to Community Steel Company, communitysteelco.com.
Yeah, when you go to the website, top right corner of the site, you're going to see exactly where they're located in Gonzales, Louisiana. Look, they open up at 7 a.m. They want you to come see them in the showroom. It is set up for success. You can always find them online, communitysteelco.com, communitysteelco.com.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, you know, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, you know. We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
We're Rev Business, a local provider with nearly 90 years of experience. So when it comes to business in Louisiana, we know that personalized service is key. And we're here to go the extra mile with all fiber solutions that deliver what every business needs, reliability and quality. We're not just providers. We're the local team dedicated to helping you succeed. True partnerships are homegrown. Rev Business, internet, phone, managed services. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Oh, yeah, Moose! This is what I'm freaking talking about, dude! Oh, God! Western expansion! Killing the natives! It's basically what we're about to do right here this weekend! Not a problematic killing of the natives, Bo. I saw your eyebrows pop up. I'm merely talking about coming to the West Coast in enemy territory and taking over these little sad-ass petite Trojan boys. By the way, we did some additional research, and one of the matchups to watch is going to be DJ Chester against that interior defensive line. Who's it off the edge that had a good year last year, 6.5 sacks?
Yeah, so that is Jamil Muhammad, who is a transfer from Georgia State, and he did it last year for USC. And then they've got Nate Clifton, senior, coming over from Vanderbilt. He had 5, and this is more important, I think.
Yes, I don't care about an edge. Edge guy, no. I'll take Emory Jones. And Will
he had
Campbell
5.5 sacks from the interior last year within the SEC at Vanderbilt. And so Bear Alexander, again, gets a lot of the talk, but I think Nate Clifton is actually the player that you need to kind of pay attention to. Here's his stats real quick. He played 12 games for Vanderbilt. He had 7.5 – what do you call them? Tickles, tackles for loss, and he had 5.5 sacks. He also had an interception.
Damn.
Work out, big boy. So that's the player. If you're looking at USC's defensive line, because, again, I'll let you speak on this. You know it way better than I do. If you're breaking in a new center, I would assume that – a one-shade possibility for Nate Clifton is going to be real possible. I mean, they're not going to play a 0 because they don't play a ton of 3-4, but he's going to be a one-shade. He's going to be breathing down DJ Chester's neck the whole game.
Yeah, and there has been talk of some bad snaps during camp, maybe being a theme during camp. And there's no quicker way to kill a drive, ruin a game, ruin a drive than a bad snap.
If you're looking for good snaps, catch it on YouTube with T-Bob and Aaron Murray.
Yeah. And if you're looking for good off-campus, catch it on Sirius XM.
Yeah, there we go.
So that would be a matchup that needs to be highlighted. Again, the thing about the lines are it's strength on strength, weakness on weakness. Who will be better in those regards? Okay, let's get to running backs, Jake.
Oh, I'm going LSU in this one. I like Woody Marks. I really do. He's a player that I think in an air raid system is perfect for what you're trying to do. He's going to catch a ton of footballs. He can pass protect. Running back wise, though, he's good. He's not great. Like, there's nothing in that part of his game that separates him. Again, his biggest strength is catching the football. He played for Mississippi State when Mike Leach was there in the air raid. That's where he thrived. Last year when Mississippi State tried to, the master class of how to screw things up, they went to the pro style. He wasn't the same back. So he's going to have more chances to catch the football in this offense. But if you're asking me, like, in the totality of the running back room, there's no question.
Like 600 yards.
Yeah, and then Quentin Joyner, who's coming back, he had 18 carries a year ago, and he's going to be the main backup back. Look, no matter how you feel about LSU's running back room, I actually love it because you have 3 different guys and potentially 4 that are all going to play, and they all have different skill sets. They all are different. You've got your big bruiser, you've got your home run hitter, you got Mr. Consistency, you've got young speed, you got John Emery. It's kind of like a little bit of mixture of all those things, right? I like LSU's running back room, and maybe it's because 2003, 2007, 2011, when LSU's had some of their most successful years, it's been with running back rooms that kind of remind me of this running back room. I say it all the time. In 2007, I was different than Keelan. Keelan was different than Charles. Charles was different than Richard. Richard was different than Trendon. All of us had something to bring to the table. Same thing for your group in 11. I love that group y'all had in 11.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this one maybe can get to that peak of what 11 was, but they have they're in the same mold as that. And so I like this LSU running back room. Sure, would you like to have maybe a bell cow like Clyde Edwards-Helaire who played 93% of the snaps? Maybe, but you don't have to. It's a position that inherently is going to rotate most places, so I like it.
I would agree. I would agree with running back. I think that's well said. Hey, by the way, guys, I do want to give again a massive thank you as our coverage from Las Vegas is presented by Rev Business, also brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Shout out to both of them making it possible for us to be out here in beautiful Las Vegas at the MGM Sportsbook here in Mandalay Bay. Okay, Jake, no, you know what? I don't want to do an uber quick one because I think all of these deserve conversations, and we're just talking LSU-USC all day anyway, so we'll just keep it rolling right along. There's running backs. So real quick, right now, we have head coach to LSU, OC to USC. I say we call DC a wash. Even though I like the
very
argument,
similar.
I like the argument of Blake Baker having more experience. We'll just call it a wash.
Yeah. O-line LSU.
O-line LSU.
D-line push.
D-line push. Maybe slight edge USC.
Yeah. With the interior numbers, I think that would be fair to give that title.
And then we are now up to
running back
clearly LSU. So leaning towards, again, all of this is in pursuit of trying to come up with objective analysis, and judge it against some of the paranoia created over the last few years in these massive opening games. All right, when we get back, more Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
Why am I such an idiot?
Coleman.
Thank you. Coleman Roof. Thank you, Moose. I had lost my live sheet. My bad, dude. I have a million windows open right now.
It's aggressive.
Go to ColemanRoof.com. And there's like multiple tabs within each window. Go to ColemanRoof.com. Coleman Roofing and Construction is your most reliable, your most respected, your most complete roofing company. So, if you have any size project, commercial, residential, any type of roof that you may have from any brand, right? We got certified installers for every single one. We do jobs anywhere in the entire state of Louisiana. But again, the thing I maybe love most about Coleman, and it's the culture. It's the level of effort that they put in to making sure that the job is done correctly, all the way from estimate and planning, all the way through to cleanup. Thousands have trusted them before. You should as well. Coleman Roofing and Construction, ColemanRoof.com.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Back to school savings at Bayou Ford. $12,000 off F-150, $12,000 off the new 2024 Ford F-150, and $10,000 off Expedition. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, you know, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, you know. We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means.
Hey, I'm back.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
You're back.
Oh, we know. We're just vibing, Moose. We know we're back.
Welcome back, baby. LSU-USC in Vegas, and we breaking down position groups, man. All right, next on the list, wide receiver.
You take this one first because you're a little bit higher on USC's group than I am.
No, I mean, I think LSU's wide receiver U. I think we talk about groups entering the benefit of the doubt club.
Yeah.
And I think in the Cortez Hankton era, I trust him and his resume, both at Georgia and here. I trust Cortez Hankton enough that although you have a lot of new faces, I got no problem going LSU with my chest out here. I hope Chris Hilton gets to play, but even if he doesn't, Brian Kelly's been very complimentary of Kyle Parker. Like that's a position group that always had talent, Jake.
Yeah, just
but they didn't always
right.
maximize it. But ever since Hankton shows up, they've been consistently doing so. So, give me – God, I can't remember. Aaron Murray came up with actually a great parallel for Zachariah Branch where he was looking at a really exciting freshman. He didn't do much freshman year, but they got awesome. Maybe it was actually Reggie Bush. I'll have to look up Bush's freshman year. But
I'm not comparing a single soul walking this green earth to Reggie Bush.
It might not have been Bush.
Ever.
It might not have been Bush.
I'm just saying. I'm just letting our listeners know.
But
he was
I got no problem. Look, I think I was impressed that Miller Moss completed passes to 12 different guys in that bowl game. spreading the ball around. And I know a lot of those guys are young, but they lost 2 guys to the NFL just like LSU did. But I'll take LSU here.
Yeah, so when I look at this receiver room, I've already talked about Zachariah Branch enough here leading into it. Jacoby Lane, not a lot of production there. Going to be a new player. Kyle Ford, who started at USC, went to UCLA, is back at USC. He had around 200 yards receiving a year ago. Jay Fair coming over from Auburn, kind of same situation. And so your leading rusher coming back for you in this, receiver in this game is going to be 350 yards for Deuce Robinson. Now, Deuce Robinson does scare the hell out of me just by his body type and because he has big playability. I mean, he's every bit of 6'5". He's listed at 6'6", 220 pounds, over 20 yards per catch a year ago. I caught up with a USC beat writer on Off Campus, so when I said that, he's like, I was like, wait, what? He's like, I hadn't had a consistent camp. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, still, the body type is going to play, so we'll see if Deuce Robinson kind of lives up to the hype that I've thrown him because I just, when you have that body type and you average over 20 yards per catch, that is something that's going to catch my attention. And then when you look at LSU, we know the deal. Kyron Lacey, almost 600 yards last year, 7 touchdowns. He is going to be your go-to weapon. C.J. Daniels, though, over 1,000 yards, right at 20 yards per catch himself. He had double-digit touchdowns, and so he's going to be a big addition. When you go over to the Ponderosa, you start talking receivers, any coach or staffer that you're having a conversation with stops you and talks to you about C.J. Daniels. That's a good thing because we never know how transfers are going to translate. And then the thing that really separates it for me is having guys like even a Chris Hilton, who we don't, have a lot of production as far as on tape, but he still had 225 yards last year. And so USC, that's what they're counting on, that guy to step up and be the guy. If you're LSU, you're counting on Hilton to be the 3.
Yes.
Cal Parker to be the 3.
Yeah.
You're counting on these guys to be a third option, and really not even a third option because the tight ends are going to be so utilized, which we'll get to. I think the production's there for, who LSU has coming back. You have a 1,000-yard receiver, although at Liberty they did play in the Fiesta Bowl last year. I think the group for LSU just has more production, I think more talent. USC's got guys that could be down the road like a Zachariah Branch in this conversation, but right now what we've seen, we're going to go LSU.
Also, this is another strength on strength, weakness on weakness.
Yep.
The secondary, without a doubt, the strength of the USC defense, whereas LSU's wide receiver room is also very good. And you flip it, the LSU secondary, one of the biggest question marks in USC receivers, it's Luther Burden, not Reggie Bush. Luther Burden,
I love Luther, but Reggie
Luther Burden, his freshman year, 38 catches for 329, right? 8 yards a catch. Basically exactly what Zachariah Branch said.
Shocking.
That's what I'm saying. And then he goes for 83 and 1,200 yards the next year.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
what
do you had 3 for 39 last night? I didn't even realize.
I'm in the minority with the Zachariah Branch. I'm just saying, the numbers weren't eye-popping. Whenever I started to have the conversations just with other people, I thought he would have way more than that. So,
all right, hour 3, continuing our breakdowns next. Keep it locked here on OTB.
Off the bench. Off the bench.
Hey, guys, go to Accutemp in Baton Rouge, AccuTempBR.com, AccuTempBR.com. Accutemp is your ACR, your AC heating and electrical experts. You need somebody who is going to fix your system no matter when you need it. Get in touch with them and receive that service to the highest degree. Guys, everything is built off the customer service at Accutemp and going the extra mile to make sure that the job's done correctly. You can trust who's coming home, that you feel good about the process throughout. I'll never forget the first time I worked at Accutemp. My wife had no idea we did commercials for them. And she was like, oh, my God, that was the best customer service I've ever gotten. That's not a lie. I swear, guys. So experience for yourself. Go to Accutemp Baton Rouge, AccuTempBR.com.
Yeah, go to the website today. Schedule your appointment today. And like we always say, chances are they're going to be out there today. You're going to know exactly who's coming into your home as well. They send you a full profile of who it is, what they look like, who they are as a person. I mean, they cover it from every single angle. Go to the website today. Get that appointment scheduled, AccuTempBR.com.
best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
We're Rev Business, a local provider with nearly 90 years of experience. So when it comes to business in Louisiana, we know that personalized service is key. And we're here to go the extra mile with all fiber solutions that deliver what every business needs: reliability and quality. We're not just providers. We're the local team dedicated to helping you succeed. True partnerships are homegrown. Rev Business, internet, phone, managed services. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. here on Friday, August 30th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect rainy skies with a high of 95. In hour 3 of today's show, we'll give our final game predictions for LSU and USC and preview the upcoming college football weekend as a whole. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch it in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the MGM Sportsbook at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Let's talk. Kind of waiting on the
voice.
Beastie Boys intro.
Yeah.
Bo, you may want to come check something out. Oh, what's up, Michelle? Oh, wait,
There we go.
What's happening,
We didn't hear anything, Bo.
Oh, welcome back, OTB.
But now we do.
Hour number 3. Let's go, guys. 60 more minutes of Off the Bench until it is officially game time. We've been going position group by position group, guys, breaking down LSU, breaking down USC. We just left off with wide receivers. We've done running backs. We can do. Okay, let's do tight ends real quickly here, Jake.
Oh, LSU.
Yeah, not even close.
LSU, not even close. One of the more talented rooms LSU has on their entire roster. And I just showed you a picture of USC's starting tight end.
Lake McCree.
Yeah, I think he's a decent player, so I don't want to throw too much shade. But just off the profile picture alone, I'm going LSU. And also because it's not a deep group for LSU because you did lose a body to Nebraska. And look, Lake had 262 yards, 10 yards per catch, had a touchdown. But when you look at Mason Taylor – going to SEC Media Days, I think that shows you what this team believes. I think Nussmeier is going to look for the tight end way more than Jaden did. And, again, like Jaden had his process of the way he played. And I don't know if you noticed, it actually worked out pretty well for him. But I think the tight end position is something that in the progression with this offense, Nussmeier will actually utilize a little bit more. It's going to hopefully make up for that loss you have with Jaden's rushing yards.
Brian Kelly is to tight ends as Lincoln Riley is to quarterback.
Yes, that's incredibly
SAT
incredibly well
there,
said.
boys.
So, I mean, LSU.
All right.
Trades Green cannot wait to see.
Next, inside linebacker. Or just linebacker. I mean, look, for me, again.
I love Mason Cobb for USC. He's one of the few players that I think has some grit to him.
He came over from Oregon State 2 years ago?
Oklahoma
State, that's what it was. Oklahoma State 2 years ago. Yeah.
OSU.
But he was one of those transfers because, 2 years ago when I was a Le Petit Trojan boy and I was trying to hype up LSU or USC coming off of that 11-3 season, the reasoning was always Anthony Lucas, Bear Alexander, Mason Cobb. So you're saying Mason Cobb is the only one that actually held up. Do they still have that 6'5", 180-pound beanpole in the middle there, or is he finally gone?
No, I don't see him anymore. I know exactly who you're talking about. I think Easton Arnold Sr., 5'11", 228 pounds right now, slated to be the Mike backer. And again, I want to point out, I do think Mason Cobb's a really good player. 85 tackles last year, 7 tackles for loss. He's a hard-nosed player, definitely plays with some grit. But still, I'm not going to give you the advantage in a room that features Harold Perkins, the Weeks brothers, Greg Penn. It's a solid room. I actually think it's the room for LSU and their defense that you can hold up against a lot of different teams. Like, they've got incredible talent, versatility in that room as well. So I do like Mason Cobb. Think he's a really good player, but I'm still going to give the advantage to LSU.
Yeah, man. I mean, if we were to rank, oh shoot, we forgot to call Fave. Fave, we'll call you. Oh shoot. Okay, we'll call
Fave,
you.
We'll call you
9:15.
there.
My bad, dude.
Hey.
Well, he might be. I think he's the deputy. 9:15. Shoot. Okay, we'll see.
Hey,
we'll see.
Fave,
I'll text him.
We love you, dog. That's our bad.
I'm all over the place right now, Fave. You got. I apologize. Okay.
Look.
Yeah. I mean, look. I think linebacker. If we were to talk about the strengths of this LSU team, I think it starts with O-line. And then I would actually go linebacker, right? Because I really like wide receiver, but they got to prove it a little bit. I really like the edge defenders, but they got to prove it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it would be O-line first. It would be linebacker second.
You had 9.5 sacks. No, sorry. You had 10 sacks from
and a couple
your
picks.
inside linebackers last year.
And a couple picks, and some forced fumbles.
Greg Penn had 4.
And some tickles.
Harold Perkins had 5.5, and Whit Weeks had half a sack. Yeah, I mean,
both Penn and Perkins had picks as well. I know that.
Hey, Whit Weeks had 3 tackles for loss. So in his, I mean, look, he didn't have the most playing time, and so to get 3 tackles for loss from his position.
And in that defense, it was so read and react. Remember what we talked about yesterday? Vertical, one gap, downhill,
it's really
run through the man's face.
It's the only group on defense right now that I trust.
Yeah, fair. So, I think advantage LSU at the inside linebacker position. Secondary, this is where
give to USC.
USC easily bites back. That is their deepest room. It is the strength of the team.
Yep.
2 years ago, the only reason why they even had a pulse with Alex Grinch is because that secondary was good enough to force about 1 million turnovers. Yeah. And so, and they bring over a safety and corner that had a lot of success at UCLA last year with D'Anton Lynn. I think they brought over a corner from Oregon State as well. But secondary easily goes to
Arnold comes
to
over from Oregon State. Ramsey comes over from UCLA. We talked about Greedy Vance from Edna Carr. He comes over. He's been at Florida State. He's been at Louisville. So very experienced player. Jacoby Covington's back. He was a transfer. I believe he transferred in 2 years ago from Washington. So they have a lot of experience there. You're looking at it. It's senior transfer. It's redshirt sophomore. It's redshirt senior, senior. Right, of the guys that are going to play in that defensive backfield. A very experienced unit. Yeah. The interceptions went way down a year ago from where they were 2 years ago.
Luck 2 years ago. Yeah. It was an outlier. They couldn't keep up that pace.
But, again, this has almost as much to do with the unknown of what LSU's DB room looks like. And then you just have veteran players where if you're LSU, like P.J. Woodland, who's going to be a freshman, like you're going to count on him. Ashton Stamps, who's going to be a sophomore.
Yeah.
Toviano is going to be a sophomore. Like you're counting on a lot of young players to play corner. Now you've got Sage Ryan and Major Burns and all these veteran players that have been here for a long time. But
and
you
I
have
like
a
Jordan
lot,
Gilbert coming
a lot
over
of
from
youth.
A&M.
Yeah.
Like I like Jordan Gilbert. I think he's going to be solid. Be interested to see how Jonathan Allen is. Who's the freshman that we were talking about? I don't know if it was in secondary. We were talking about Brian Kelly saying was going to play maybe the most out of any of the freshmen. Oh no, that was on
Ahmad
D-line.
Bro.
Yeah, that was Ahmad Bro on D-line.
In that quote, it started making the rounds yesterday. And remember, like, this is a player that was an edge rusher when he signed with LSU. I mean, he was light. I mean, he was 235, 240, and he is bulked up. He's going to play interior defensive line. And it's a name that we weren't expecting, T, because I'm such a big fan of ourlads.com. They do such a great job of keeping up with all these depth charts. He's not on the 3 deep at either defensive tackle position, but you had quotes yesterday that he is going to be impactful. He is going to play. Dominic McKinley is probably the guy that's going to get the most attention as far as headlines, obviously. I mean, 5-star guy, top, 30 player in the country, even better in some recruiting services. But I know he's been a little nicked up in camp. Yeah, I mean, Ahmad Bro, somebody that as soon as he got in, talking with the strength staff about him, whenever other players would have the opportunity to go home for a couple days, again, he's from Ruston, he said he never left.
Wow.
They said in May, when everybody went home, he was like one of a handful of guys. And the other guys were like from Baton Rouge or maybe even from New Orleans or close around.
Okay.
They said everybody else went home. Ahmad Bro was in the weight room every day in May.
I mean, how bad do you want it? What are you willing to sacrifice in order to get it? So we've gone through everything thus far. Special teams, I got to be honest. I don't know a lot about USC's special teams. I trust Damian Ramos. I don't trust the punters. Oschendorf was excellent last year, an all-CUSA punter out of La Tech, but for whatever reason, Jake, not winning the job outright. Peyton Todd, of course, the number one punter in the nation, coming out of
it's not consistent, yeah.
Coming out of West Monroe, but just not quite founded on the college level.
I think that's a position that scares me.
Yeah, I mean,
last year you didn't punt.
Yeah,
and you had a really good punter. You had a veteran punter, and this year, like, I don't know if how much you're going to punt, but I would just assume you're going to punt a little bit more at least. You had the number one offense in the country that literally never punted at all, and it's been very inconsistent in training camp. And that's not just beat writers telling us that. That is everybody that's gone to practice yeah, man, you'd see one bomb at 60 yards, the next one would be 16 off the side of his foot. I think it's a real concern, and anytime that you play two punters like that, it makes me nervous that you think you don't have one.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. That said, LSU should be – you'd probably give the return game advantage to USC because Zachariah Branch, All-American there last year. But
you've got an All-SEC
Xavier Thomas, yeah, exactly. Xavier Thomas was All-SEC at Mississippi State last year. When we watched that state film before the game, he was the only player that flashed. And so that's a bit of good on good as well. And so, I don't know if I want to get too much analysis there, except I'm worried about LSU's punt game. I like Ramos as your kicker. He was solid last year. I think he can build off of that. And when it comes to the return game, I'm just praying to God that Thomas can finally bring back a pulse to the return game. And he should be able to, because we've seen him do it on the college level in the SEC, right? This is not hoping that Aaron Anderson will be good.
Yeah.
This is not – was Malik Neighbors returning punts 3 years ago?
Yeah, he muffed 2 against Florida State.
That's what I'm saying. That's crazy. That was Malik Neighbors, though. Now that we know what Malik Neighbors is, it's kind of insane to think about.
But
again,
I remind everybody that is the hardest thing that I ever did in football, and a lot of people ever did in football, was catch a punt with, well, not 11, but 10 guys with bad intentions breathing down your neck.
Scary stuff.
And also, that punt will change directions about 7 different times at the end when it's coming down. And it's not easy. I'll tell you that. So if you've got a guy that can not only you feel comfortable catching the ball, but also returning it because LSU's only had fair catch guy the last couple of years.
Shout out Greg Clayton.
No.
Good at fair catching.
And look, LSU needs somebody that can catch the damn punt. So, yes, shout out to Clayton. But you've been missing something in the return game. Certainly, even kickoff returns. You've been missing something. Think about how many dynamic returners LSU's had between Tyron and Mo Claiborne and Trendon Holiday, who might be the GOAT. Trey White was a beast. Buster Davis was a beast. Skylar Green was a beast. I mean, we could go back and back. Kevin Falk, Eddie Kinnison.
Davis return kicks?
Yes, all of them. It was a part of what made you so good was because you had a guy back there that legit could take it to the house with every single punt return. I mean, Trendon Holiday, if he caught it, by God, there was a chance he was going to take it all the way back, even in the NFL.
Yeah.
All right? You've been missing that over the last more than 2 seasons. I'd say 4 seasons. It is something that if you can add that metric to your bottom line, it's not something we're counting on right now, but could win you a game.
Mitchell Knapp's a punt returner. There's a name I have not heard in a long time. I agree. So hopefully Tom's going to be able to change that. All right, Jake, do you have a felt tip pin on you or any sort of pin?
If you see me out in the wild and I don't have a felt tip pin, I'm sick. Let me grab you one.
Okay. Real quick, guys. I do want to remind you, to go check out Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding, GEAUXTommies.com. That's GEAUXTommies.com for all of your windows, doors, and siding needs. Tommy's been at it for over 20 years, guys. They won the Angie Super Service Award every year they've been in existence since Tommy struck out on his own 8 years ago. And, whether it's hardy plank or vinyl siding, wood or vinyl windows, any type of door, I trust Tommy so much. And the integrity that they have, the dependability, the efficiency on the job, the free estimates that they give you. I trust them so much that I'm not going to tell you to outright give them the job. I'm telling you to just make Tommy's a bid. Put him up against whoever you want to put him up against for your next project. Make Tommy's a bid, and let them prove to you why they are the correct people for the job. Do you have a piece of paper, Jake? Because here's what I want to do. During the break,
so needy.
Bro, this has been my entire academic career. I was the, hey, can I borrow a pencil?
T-Bob,
borrow is
I have
always a
everything
word that
in
makes
this
no
backpack,
sense.
including whiteout. I don't know why I have whiteout here in.
I have nothing but drugs in my backpack. I should make it more functional. Just kidding, guys. I don't have anything in it. I even took the Malort. I still had Malort from Chicago in there. You ever had Malort?
No.
It's an awful liquor. It tastes like bug spray and socks.
I got checks in here, T-Bob. Why do I
even
have
checks because you're ready for a little caloric intake. Should you get tired and need a little pick-me-up?
I got a notepad in here somewhere.
Well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to break. We're gonna felt tip up our position groups. Okay, our analytical analysis. Redundant? Yes. Our analysis is complete. We'll see where the advantages lie, and then we can give a full, rounded-out discussion when we get back here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
Go to centralplumbing.org, 925-8552, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. Look, man, you go to Central Plumbing today, and any plumbing problems that you have, Central Plumbing's got your back. They've been at it for 50 years now, y'all, and you may be asking yourself, 50 years? It's half a century. I know. It's crazy. How do you stand the test of time and grow in the way that they have? How do you continue to find success? How do you continue to find customers? How does the fleet continue to expand? It's because your customers are consistently satisfied. So, once you use Central Plumbing, you know if you have a plumbing problem, you know where to go. You go right back to them. And it's because they're licensed, bond, insured. They got great. They send you information about who's coming into your home ahead of time, so you can trust them. They have flat rate pricing structure, so it's none of that food delivery BS where your price doubles at the end and you're not sure how. They have great warranty coverage once the work is done. They have 24/7 emergency service. They've seen it all. They can fix it all. They also do bathroom remodels. You want to look into a tankless water heater. It's all there for you at centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
We're Rev Business, a local provider with nearly 90 years of experience. So when it comes to business in Louisiana, we know that personalized service is key. And we're here to go the extra mile with all fiber solutions that deliver what every business needs: reliability and quality. We're not just providers. We're the local team dedicated to helping you succeed. True partnerships are homegrown. Rev Business, internet, phone, managed services. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, you know, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, you know. We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it
Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me. Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, they all on me.
Before I came up in the game, nobody showed me love. They see me in the club and used to treat me like a scrub. They wouldn't holler.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
The boat come rolling up. Now, want to get in my car now. What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. T-Bob. Jake hanging out with you here. Okay, so we have collated the numbers. Guys, remember we started this show talking about how analytically I feel like LSU's the better team. I just have paranoia of the past, and here it is. For LSU, we have them having the advantage at head coach, quarterback, running back, tight end, wide receiver, offensive line, and linebacker. We have defensive coordinator as a push, as I like both Blake Baker and D'Anton Lynn a lot. We have USC having the advantage at OC because we're basically saying that's Lincoln Riley. Defensive line, defensive back, and on special teams. So, as you can see, on paper, in our opinions, I think LSU looks like the more complete team. I think LSU should win this game. I think they have the better head coach. I think they have more talent top to bottom. I think they've recruited better. I think Brian Kelly, through his process, has developed better than USC has through the years. I go back to the point we made earlier, specifically on quarterback, that Brian Kelly has empowered Garrett Nussmeier now for 2 years as being the guy, whereas Lincoln Riley did not fully commit to Miller Moss till after camp, and even then talked about how if things start to go bad, that they would have no problem putting Jordan Maiava in the UNLV transfer, and that he's grown a lot. So even the quarterbacks, like
Garrett Nussmeier is empowered to go play a bit free, and if he makes a mistake, he knows he's okay. Miller Moss has that worst kind of anxiety that it's possible to have, that if he makes too many mistakes, that, well, he could find his way potentially to the bench. In the end, Jake, the last thing that all this conversation has really pointed out to me that I find to be very interesting, there's a lot of strength on strength and weakness on weakness, right? LSU's offensive line is a strength. USC's D-line is a strength. LSU's D-line is a weakness. USC's O-line is a weakness. LSU's wide receivers are a strength. USC's defensive backs are probably the best part of their team. Maybe the only strength-weakness matchup, I would say, is even though we gave LSU the edge at wide receiver, I do think USC still has pretty good weapons, and USC's wide receiver group against LSU secondary may feel like the most exploitable matchup on the field, except maybe if you want to go like, I mean, when you combine the LSU O-line and running backs going against USC's D-line and linebackers, that feels like a pretty exploitable matchup as well. Again, we're going to run the ball, right? But that is that is maybe what I'm circling as the guys that I got to have step up the most in this game, because you don't want to give Miller Moss confidence. You want to be able to play man-to-man so you can do these vertical one-gap, hyper-aggressive scheme. Remember, we're trying to hit that 25% havoc rate that we talked about yesterday. Sacks, PBUs, TFLs, turnovers. That's going to come down to whether or not Ashton Stamps, Sage Ryan, Jordan Gilbert. Oh, God. What's his name? I was on a roll. Other safety.
Jordan Allen.
Thank you. Jordan Allen, Major Burns. Can that secondary hold up against what are talented but still relatively unproven USC wide receivers? If they can do that, then there's no way that USC wins this game. I believe that full stop. If that secondary plays well, there is no way that USC wins this game.
It does feel like the matchup as we sit here and we break it down. It's like, okay, well, good on good, bad on bad, and you're trying to figure out like what's going to be the deciding factor. I would point to two of them. I would agree with you wholeheartedly with USC's receivers versus LSU's DBs, and then LSU's D-line versus USC's O-line. That is the story of the game. Those two position groups battling against each other. The others are going to make enough plays for themselves. Which one handles that the best? Like if LSU has 4 sacks in this game, they win this game. I think if they, you know what I'm saying, if they get after the quarterback, I think they win this game.
And I think that's kind of their goal. I mean, that sounds crazy. 4 sacks is a lot, but like if you're talking about trying to achieve a 25% havoc rate, Jake, I think that's their goal. And I do believe that USC's weak at tackle. And I think the LSU edge group is one of the highest.
They don't have a lot of starts.
The LSU edge group is one of the highest potential groups on this entire team.
Savion Jones is key here, and he's not going to be playing the jackbacker. That's going to be more your Braden Swinston, Deshaun Womack types. Savion Jones and Paris Shan, they're more of I don't want to say just hold the point, but that's it within this defense. They're going to be more of that guy than just say line up in a 9 technique and get after the quarterback. But he's had a fantastic training camp, and if he can give you any kind of rush production from that position, that's lanyard. That is something you're not maybe counting on, but he has that ability. Also, like, don't forget about Gabe Relaford, true freshman. We talked about Bro a little bit earlier. I think he plays in this game.
Dominic McKinley will get snaps? Yes? No? Or no?
I don't know. That's going to be something certainly to pay attention to, because we've talked more about defensive tackles this offseason. Gosh, maybe than any other position. I actually think like Gabe Relaford and Amon Bro like might get more run just because of the training camps that they've had, hearing the coaches talk about them.
Okay. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see which of those young players end up stepping in this. But there it is. I feel like over the last, almost 3 hours, about 2 hours here, 2.5, we have given you an in-depth breakdown of where things stand. The question remains just kind of the intangible stuff, right? Who has studied harder to this point? Who knows the game plan better? Who believes in their coaching staff more? Who believes in themselves more? And who wants it more, man? Who's ready to fight? I know Will Campbell's ready. I heard they want to bring out Emory Jones for player availability. Greg Penn saying, "Oh, y'all think Campbell's locked in? That's just how he is." Emory Jones is even more psycho. That's probably why he's not allowed to talk to y'all. So, like, I know those guys are ready, but is everybody else ready? And how do you deal with the first bit of adversity that you're going to get hit with, right?
Yeah.
Are you mature enough to
coming.
take the punch, wipe the blood off, and smile, and then get ready to keep fighting, or are you going to fold? It feels like USC recently has been prey to the latter. A bit wobbly, a bit easy to maybe make doubt themselves, a bit easier to maybe make fold, whereas I like some of the toughness that I've seen out of LSU in this Brian Kelly era. All right, let's do this. Let's go to break. When we get back, we'll start to get pumped up, continue to break down this LSU-USC game. Any questions that you have in the chat as well, if you want to go ahead and put them in about certain matchups. You know what? This is one of the few times where I will say, let's keep it to football questions. Give us some questions on these games this week, or excuse me, on this game specifically, and we'll answer them. And then, do you think we'll have time to put together a little pontoon parlay? Should we put together a pontoon parlay?
Is Pittsburgh the Steel City?
Okay, there we go. Coming up next here on OTB.
Off the bench.
Thank you so much for joining us here in Las Vegas, and we are so excited to be brought to you by Trash Rangers. TrashRangersLLC.com is the website. TrashRangers.com.
Yeah, new website, baby.
TrashRangers.com, new website, new domain, so easy, and really easy is the word when it comes to working with Trash Rangers. Whether it's your residential pickup, where they're always on time, always consistent, they actually text you the night beforehand to remind you to put out your cans when it's your pickup day. Or you're a business and you need front-load dumpsters emptied 1 to even 6 times a week. They understand the flexible needs of business. They know how to match your flexible needs. Any size roll-off dumpster, they got you, TrashRangers.com.
They absolutely do, and check it out in the greater Baton Rouge area. If you've got a project at your home or your business, T-Bob mentioned it, 3 different sizes. You tell them what you're doing, and they give you the correct size. It is right there waiting on you. Incredible customer service. You can now check it out on the all-new website. That's TrashRangers.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add mountain.
Hey DJ, want to play that song? I say, hey DJ, want to play that song? I say, hey DJ, want to play that song? I say, hey DJ, want to play that song? Turn the beat up, turn the beat.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Moose and Taylor, get me one pick by the final segment that each of y'all like. Me and Jake are trying to find irons, and we're going to put together our pontoon parlay. All right, let's get to some of y'all's questions here. This comes from the youtube.com/1045 ESPN chat. By the way, a massive thank you. As our coverage here live from Las Vegas is presented by Rev, also brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. So shout out to them for sponsoring the show, having us out here in this beautiful setup here at the MGM Sportsbook at Mandalay Bay. All right, let me find them real quick here. Ask the bench, if LSU runs for more than 225 on the ground, do they win the game? Easy.
Yes.
Easy.
That's easy money.
If you run for over 225, you have so firmly established dominance. Yeah. You have taken away. Like, if we believe that USC's offense is their greatest strength, if you're running for 225 on the ground, that means you control the time possession, you've shortened the game, you've taken away their possessions. Yes, Greg, I believe that would be an easy win.
I think if you run for 200.
Yeah, that would be
200 is like the line of almost like absolute.
Ask the bench, will LSU's offense remaining on the field and extending drives be their best path to victory?
I think so. I think it's a good one.
I mean, right now, yes, because we don't know how good the defense is, right? And so if you have no faith in the defense, or if you say it's an unknown and you want to control the controllables, well, keeping the defense off the field would be the best way to do that. So that is definitely a path to victory. The best path is to just beat the hell out of them. Just beat him up physically, make him bleed, kick him in the nuts after the play, get in cheap shots, get in their head, physically dominate them, break their will, make them cry, make them want to go home, establish dominance. Hashtag Ask the Bench. Would y'all be happy with 40% stops on third down? No. That is awful. That's about what you've been at for the past 4 years. I know it feels like LSU was worse than last year, but 60%. Now, unless you mean LSU, I think actually that's what it means, allowing 40%. That's okay.
So 8 of 20.
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
8 of 20, exactly. 4 of 10.
I think they have. Well, I guess they have 23rd down.
That's right at the borderline. 40. Like if you want to be a really good defense, you want to be in the 30s. But yes, 40% would be acceptable. If you're saying 60%, no, that's a disaster. Ask the bench, would y'all be happy with 3.5 yards of carry, and do you really think we get that? No. You need to be over 4 yards of carry.
Maybe he's talking about stopping, or for us.
Oh, maybe defensively.
Yeah, because 3.5. No, not with who you have at running back.
No, 3.5's good. Look, I abide by the classic.
Anything under 4.
3. Yeah, anything under 4 is good. Anything over 4 is bad. In college, if you want to be a really good running team, you probably want over 5. It's different than the NFL in that regard. But yeah, if you're holding Woody Marks to 3.5, I'd say yes, that's great. Ask the bench, if LSU runs for 225, does the over hit?
64.5.
I don't know about that.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. I don't know about that. That's tougher to say because that could shorten the game for sure. Ask the bench, who's most likely to get fired for doing something silly at Las Vegas this weekend? Well, I think Jimmy Ott will be the silliest, but I don't think he can get fired.
Yeah, Jimmy can't really get fired. Like he He works for 104.5, but he doesn't really work for 104.5.
Jimmy Ott is an economy unto himself.
Yeah.
Bo might die. He's going rafting down the Colorado River.
Yeah.
So if we hear,
or if we don't hear, I guess.
Yeah, if we don't hear from Bo, or he gets lost.
Y'all aren't going to believe me, but the man sitting to my right, your left, is staying pretty calm, I think, this weekend. I don't think we got a lot of party Bob in our future.
Let's not count these chickens quite yet. I am. My plan is coming together tonight. I will definitely be at Jimmy Ott's 104.5 tailgate party. I just learned about that, but I think that's like relatively early, maybe like 5 to 9, and then Saturday you will catch me somewhere watching all the games, gambling and drinking. But I mean,
maybe right in here.
But last night, where was I? In bed, watching the game. So I'm just saying, we kept it chilled. Not a single drop of alcohol consumed thus far. But I'm guaranteeing y'all, we are going to full send on Sunday for the game. Okay, we are back Sunday. I am not, and so Monday I'm going to be hurting.
Just do me a favor. If LSU wins the game, and I'm coming down from the booth across the street into Whiskey and Wine, just stay a little bit later for me if we win. If we lose, you can close shop and it's okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, if we win, I'll probably keep it going until
we might as well actually sleep like right there because
yeah.
we got to be back here at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I'll go for about 11 or 12. Hashtag asked the bench, how y'all feeling about -4.5? Will it continue to trend down or plateau? I feel like it's probably plateaued.
Yeah, but it's probably going to live there.
I would be shocked if huge money was still coming on USC +4.5, especially when, remember, the vast majority of the bets, not the biggest money, but the vast majority of the bets are coming in on
USC.
On USC. No, sorry, on LSU. The majority of the bets are on LSU, but
the sharps
money,
are on.
Yes, the money's on USC. But I think it's going to even out and stay at 4.5. See, it went down to 4 last night and went back up to 4.5. That makes sense. Ask the bench, who leads LSU in rush yards on Sunday?
I'll say Caleb Jackson hits a big one, and that's why he's going to be leading rusher. I think most carries still going to be Josh Williams. And Josh is going to have like a work day, probably 10 carries, 50 yards, but I can feel if LSU's leaning on them like we think that's going to be the game plan, then what happens when you lean on a defense and they're tired of tackling? The 225, 30-pound running back, breaks a 60-yard A-gap run and hits his head on the goalpost. So I go Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb Jackson seems like not a bad answer there. Did T-Bob bring the Xbox? Yes, I did. Let me see. T-Bob's likely to make an appearance at Spearmint Rhino. Not true.
What's that?
Money's tight right now, and I can't be. Look, I love dancers.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's got to make money how you can. That's cool, baby. I just can't be giving you my daughter's money. You know what I'm saying? I can't be doing that.
Or quad bobs?
Yeah, I know. Or quad bobs, okay? It's a little tight right now. Now, if maybe somebody that's here wants to, hand me, $1,000, then, hey, I can't be responsible for what happens after that. Hashtag ask the bench. Nuss throws for over or under 325 yards.
That's a big number. I say I think he throws for 280 and they rush for 200.
I'm going to go the under because I think their best path to victory, exactly what Jake said, lies through running the ball a bit. Ask the bench, who leads in receiving yards for LSU? I'm just going to chalk. I'm just going to Kyron Lacey.
Yeah, me too. I go Kyron Lacey.
And he kind of needs to, right? He needs to prove that he is ready to assume the true mantle of wide receiver 1. Eric says money won't be tight after these bets hit play it. Yeah. Says everybody who has ever walked into Las Vegas, and it only works out for 1 to 2% of people. Ryan said, hey, Shadur had 252 in the first half. Yeah, they throw the ball a lot, though.
Yeah, they ran for less than 100.
How about that pick that he threw? Did you see that?
Off the foot.
So unlucky, dude. Yeah, so unlucky. Ask the bench. Wait, I missed the any snaps in Vegas today, Scott? No, not today. We never do Friday shows, but be on the lookout. Today's Friday?
Yes.
Yes.
Since
Yes.
there's no snaps today, you can tune in 2 to 5 to a little Meathead Radio. I'll be with Barely a Buckeye, Ben Hartsock, if you want to continue hearing some football talk later on.
I saw Ben Hartsock on a Craig Krenzel highlight the other day.
Yeah, I think it was Ben's probably only touchdown yet. He was a true wide tight end. He is all over this Connor Stallion stuff. I'm like, Ben, shut up. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares,
Nobody
dude.
cares, Ben. Shut
Also, Ohio State, y'all some snitch-ass hoes. Y'all the ones that probably told in the first place. Come on now. Come on now. We don't do that. Come on now.
Brohio, isn't that the guy's name in the documentary?
Oh, my God. He is so representative of why that documentary is so dumb.
Yeah.
He's the least interesting character ever, and my guy's out here in a ski mask and glasses like he's an international terrorist being interviewed on 60 Minutes. Like, bro, shut up.
I know.
Nobody cares.
Nobody does. Only a select few, and it's because you got burned by your rival.
Ask the bench. Chris Hilton over under 65. We don't even know
Yeah,
if Chris is playing or not.
I don't know. I don't think he's.
That's going to be one of the interesting parts. If he doesn't play, how does Kyle Parker do, man? Huge opportunity for Kyle Parker. 4-star, certainly, but not a name that was like, you know, you think about like Shelton Sampson. You think about a lot of the other names that are super heralded. Parker, all he's done is put his head down and work and got his way into this starting lineup potentially. You know what I kind of want to do today? They have a Titanic exhibit in the hotel, and I think that looks pretty interesting.
I could definitely see myself after my show partaking in said exhibit.
What if you walked in and I was laying there nude on a Chase lounge being drawn
I'd
by,
draw you like a little French boy.
like a Leonardo DiCaprio lookalike. Yes, that's what we should do. I'll pose nude for you, and you draw me like one of your French boys.
Yeah, I thought that was already understood.
As the bench, how dumb is it that Louisiana can't bet college prop bets anymore? I don't think it's dumb, actually. I kind of think it makes all the sense in the world, guys.
Yeah, I think that's a sketchy place to be with college kids, and no, I mean it makes sense. It's so tough, anyways. I mean, college games are not like NFL games. The rosters are so big. You can have a guy come out of nowhere that wasn't even on the board and be the leading receiver. So it's not great value either. Outside of like the top quarterbacks and maybe running backs, even receiver, that gets. It's not great value anyway, so no.
Carly, I don't appreciate the puking emojis in relation to me being naked on the Chase Lounge. You've never seen me naked, okay? You want to throw up, okay? You want to throw up. That's all I'll say.
We
I don't know
shared a locker room for a long time.
Like it, but you want to throw up.
So,
final one here. Will Trades Green see the field in the red zone? Yes, I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. I think
now,
so.
there's going to be. There will be a 12 personnel group with Trades Green probably out there with the other two tight ends as a receiver. There's going to be 13 personnel, I would assume. I mean, every video that LSU's put out, it like Trades, I feel like it's been in the video. Like the day I went to practice, he was definitely in there rotating with all three tight ends were rotating with the first group. So
all right, pontoon parlay. When we get back, keep it locked. OTB.
Off the bench.
Go to All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. All-Star Toyota is your answer for your next vehicle, man, whether it's buying new, used, leasing. They got the best prices. They got an incredible selection, and you can custom order whatever you want. If you want to hop on the murdered out mini train, buys. Actually, you can order right there online at All-Star Toyota Express. It's very easy to do. Or just go see them off an airline and go to it. And remember, if you need a service or you need a body shop, All-Star Toyota, always open for you, no matter the make and model.
Check it out today. Buy new, leasing, or renting. We tell you all the time because it is factual. Everything's available. You're not going to find that anywhere else. So if you're going to watch the Tigers play this fall, no matter which road trip you are choosing, choose All-Star. Rent a Toyota today. Bigger, smaller, better on gas, whatever. They have got you covered. The website, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless You add mountain cold refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
We're Rev Business, a local provider with nearly 90 years of experience. So when it comes to business in Louisiana, we know that personalized service is key. And we're here to go the extra mile with all fiber solutions that deliver what every business needs: reliability and quality. We're not just providers. We're the local team dedicated to helping you succeed. True partnerships are homegrown. Rev Business, internet, phone, managed services. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
I look good on my mama, on my hood. I look fly, I look good. Touch my swag, wish you could.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Welcome back, OTB, final segment before the game, guys. Now, of course, AFR will be here today. Hunt's back in studio. But then all of your game day action Sunday going to be here, and whiskey and wine. God, I hate this from Taylor. Taylor's going Boston College. Here's your pontoon parlay, guys. Taylor's going Boston College plus 16.5 against FSU. I mean, I like BC. It's just that this is it's
a Monday game.
It's just an FSU team that's a little desperate here. But I get it. They didn't look good.
Well, T-Bob, Haynes King ate them up, and the reason I went with him, Castellanos had 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns on the ground last year, and it was a 2-point game a year ago.
16.5's a lot.
It was a red bandana game. There was a lot of emotion. I don't hate the bet, Taylor. Like, if it wasn't Florida State coming off a loss, I would actually be all over it. That's the only thing that does caution me a little bit. I get why. I totally get how you got there. Last time we saw Boston College, they were dominating a good SMU team in a bowl game. So just the spot for Florida State's the only hang-up for me.
Musso goes South Dakota State plus 10.
Ooh.
Who are they playing?
Oklahoma State.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, okay.
All right, Moose.
I don't hate it.
Right,
I don't love my pick. I like Jake's a lot. It's a tried and true classic.
It's just start off the
Illinois
season.
State at Iowa under 41. The fact that the Iowa under is at 41 after what we have seen, what we've heard out of camp, that might as well be printing money. If I had to circle one individual bet to just bet on its own, guys, and boost it as much as you can,
it would be that Iowa under. All right, so it's Boston College plus 16.5. South Dakota State plus 10. Illinois at Iowa under 41. And then I'm just going to go I'm going to go Virginia Tech minus 13.5. ACC had a lot of success against ACC had a lot of success against the SEC last year early on. I don't feel 1,000% about it, but if Virginia Tech is going to be the team that they looked like they were ending up being last year, and everybody transferred from Vandy. Everybody that was any good transferred from Vandy. I don't believe in Vandy. I think they suck. I think Virginia Tech's going to win that game handily. So there you go. This parlay is disgusting. LMAO. That's how you know it's going to win. That's how you know it's going to win. First pontoon parlay. And in classic Taylor fashion, guys, we have to wait till freaking Monday to figure out. So way to go, Tay-Tay. You continue disappointment at every possible turn. Moose. Play some Last of the Mohicans. What's the
Daniel Day-Lewis?
What's the song? What is it? Promontory. Look up Last of the Mohicans Promontory and start playing that thing. Jake, how are we feeling? Final thoughts on the game?
I actually feel pretty good about it, and one of the things that made me feel the best about it was Will Campbell and how he talked this week in media availability. This is your best player. This is someone that is tired of losing his opening game. He has never won an opening game in his LSU career. This is his last opportunity. When your best player goes out in front of the media and puts his chest out, that to me was the deciding factor, because I didn't really know. This game is full of unknowns, but the thing that I do know is Will Campbell is that mother effing dude, and they are going to go find a way to win this game.
All right, crank this thing up, Musa. Here we go, boys. Crank it up, Moose. Crank it up in my ear. Here we go, boys. Look, guys, here we freaking go. I mentioned it earlier. I'm sick and tired of losing. It's time to start this season with a statement. Year 3. You gotta let those latte drinking, soy boy loving, California surfing beach bums beat you. Are you freaking kidding me? It's time to make a statement. It's time to make him hurt. It's time to make him bleed. You're better on paper. You're more talented. You got the better quarterback. You're bigger. You're stronger. You're faster. Now go freaking prove it. No more BS. Be tough. Be strong. Be courageous. And kick their ass. I say it all the time, dude. Okay? I want you to hit them until they beg you to stop. And then when they beg, you hit them again. Make them swallow their effing teeth. Let's go. Punch them in the mouth and don't let up. You got 60 minutes to write your legend. 3 hours to establish dominance. It's time to break USC. Go Tigers.
Off the bench.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play.